Family cultivation. I can improve my magic weapon. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 876 Family Promise. According to the rules of the Chen family, bringing back the martial arts manuals for the family can be rewarded with merit. Because the nascent soul martial arts are so rare, they are ceiling level resources in the Star Sea, and they are also the treasures of a faction, and they will not be spread to the outside world. This makes the nascent soul martial arts extremely rare, and it is difficult to measure the value with spirit stones. Chen Xianming is also not sure how many spirit stones a nascent soul martial arts is worth. 1 million, or tens of millions? In Chen Qingyun's view, these martial arts manuals have been shared with Li Mubing, Luo Huzi and others, and now they can be shared with the family. Regarding the Tongba Oshu for controlling the 5 elements puppet, Chen Qingyun mentioned it in detail and suggested that Chen Xianming practice it. This technique is not difficult and can be mastered in some time. In addition, the 5 elements puppet requires a top-grade spirit stone as energy, and the family must prepare this level of spirit stone. After chatting with the old patriarch for a while, Chen Qingyun learned that the family has collected more than a dozen top-grade spirit stones in the past few years, and it seems that they have encountered some opportunities. After chatting for more than an hour, Chen Xianming summoned family elders such as Chen Dalin and Chen Daoran, as well as some new generation elders, to hold a high-level meeting. At the meeting, Chen Xianming explained the martial arts books contributed by Chen Qingyun. And promised that in the future, Chen Qingyun can give priority to choosing 3 resources from the family for free. The resources are not restricted and can be any kind of magic tools, spiritual materials, puppets, formations, etc. As long as Chen Qingyun needs it and the family has it, Chen Qingyun will be satisfied. First. The gift of martial arts and the sharing of other immortal arts brought by Chen Qingyun also surprised Chen Daoran and others. Even the new generation elders of the family were convinced and sighed at Chen Qingyun's contribution to the family. In the past, they had heard more and praised Chen Qingyun for being so powerful, so great, and for his great contributions to the family. These remarks heard were more or less exaggerated. Now that I have witnessed it with my own eyes, I have to admire it in my heart. I have changed my mind and no longer have prejudice against Chen Qingyun. There is no reason to complain about anything. Who has the right to say that the family favors Chen Qingyun? Anyone who can bring many martial arts books and multiple nascent soul martial arts can enjoy such treatment. The question is, who in the family can do it now? Only Chen Qingyun. The family history has opened a separate page for Chen Qingyun, and Chen Qingyun has once again become a legendary figure in the family. Chen Xianming proposed to keep the existence of these 8 nascent soul martial arts secret first, so as not to be coveted by outsiders. Family cultivators who want to contact Cultivation will also need to sign a confidentiality agreement in the future. As for other martial arts, they will be restricted according to their respective preciousness, and a complete exchange system will be perfected. In the past, there were few family cultivators and they needed to develop rapidly. The Family Sutra Pavilion could allow family members to enter and exit freely, and learning various martial arts was free. Now that the family cultivators have reached more than 1,000, the rules of the library have changed and they cannot enter and exit at will. For exchanging martial arts, a corresponding system has been formulated. Chen Xianming reminded that all the cultivators who participated in the meeting today need to abide by this confidentiality agreement and not bring external enemies to the family. The attraction of the nascent soul technique to cultivators is so great that it is enough to cause a family war. Even forces such as Wuan Island and Chonglu want to intervene and share this technique. The more powerful and high-grade the technique is, the better it is to monopolize it. It is best not to circulate it. One of the purposes of doing this is to prevent people from finding the weaknesses in the technique and knowing how to crack it. The family has considered a lot, and at the same time, it is for the benefit of Chen Qingyun in the family. With the help of this meeting, Chen Qingyun mentioned another thing. He is going to try to invite Luo Huzi, Wen Xiumen, and Li Mubing to join the Chen family and serve as guest elders. In fact, when Chen Qingyun proposed to let his own cultivators copy books and invite Luohuzi and others to live in the Chen family temporarily, he had this idea. Chen Qingyun did not understand other giant and cultivators. They have good and bad personalities, so they cannot be invited to join the family casually. Chen Qingyun felt that Luohuzi, Li Mubing, and Wen Xiumen were good friends and worth making friends with. Especially Luohuzi, whose performance at the Hunyuan Bao conference and his willingness to stand in the same camp with Chen Qingyun to deal with Jiwu made Chen Qingyun feel that he was a righteous man. Luohuzi happened to be a casual cultivator without the constraints of a sect, which made him very easy to win over. Maybe he could also win over his wife and daughter to join the Chen family. Li Mubing, as a Xuanbing Island cultivator, did not have the constraints of the four major sects in Xinghai, so he could also try to win him over. Wen Xiumen, such a giant and female cultivator, who was also a casual cultivator, was also worth winning over. Upon learning of Chen Qingyun's proposal, Chen Xianmin laughed and responded first, "Qingyun, what a coincidence. To be honest, I thought about this a few days ago. If our Chen family could have one or two giant and stage guest elders, it would benefit us a lot." Chen Xianming said with great anticipation. "There is nothing wrong with your proposal. You are familiar with them and have some friendship with them. It is better for you to ask them what they are willing to do. As long as they are willing, I will come forward in person and invite them to join our family." Chen Qingyun's contribution of the Cultivation Manual has established prestige in the minds of the new generation of cultivators, and his image has become even more lofty. This made most of the people present agree with Chen Qingyun's idea. The family itself is constantly recruiting guest elders. It is a great thing for a giant and monk to join the Chen family. Good. Chen Qingyun nodded. With the existence of the five elements wall of enlightenment, I believe this will be very attractive to Luohuzi and the others. Thinking that there were Mu Taoist and Granny Zio, Chen Qingfeng hesitated for a moment and then spoke. "By the way, there are Taoist Mu and Granny Zio. Do you want to invite them too?" The other two Zhuan Island monks, one is at the early stage of Jiandan and the other is at the peak of Zaifu. I think they are pretty good too. Chen Qingfeng originally wanted to joke that this time Chen Qingyun had been out for a few years and had brought back several golden elixir monks. Could there be a confidant among them? When he thought about Liu Zilin, there were still some juniors here, and it was hard for Chen Qingfeng to tease her like this. There's no need to try this. Chen Dalen shook his head and said, Mu Taoist is an elder of the sect. Naturally, there is no reason to serve as an elder of a family outside. This is against the rules of Yaoang Mountain. Grandma Zio, this person is also from a certain force, and is still far away in the sea of 10,000 demons. I'm afraid she won't agree. Hey, how will you know if you don't try? If it doesn't work with Taoist Mu, let's just ask Grandma Zio, what if it works? Chen Qingfeng said, she is a descendant of the Narcissus lineage. This is the person we have been waiting for a long time. Chapter 877 Invitation. Chen Qingfeng's knowledge is limited. He has only learned a little about the Sea of Thousand Monsters in recent years. He has heard of the Narcissus lineage of Lingbo Island and has a good impression of Grandma Zhu. There is no need to discuss too much about inviting a few people. Chen Qingyun just needs to ask one more question. After the family meeting, Chen Qingyun entered the Blessed Land Beat at night and took out the Night Demon Beast Demon Pill. The 5th level Demon Pill can be used to refine high-level spiritual pills to cultivate spiritual beasts. There is an example of Moling swallowing Diwaniying Demon Pill to advance. This time, Chen Qingyun decided to continue to cultivate spiritual beasts. It should be noted that if the same demon beast takes 2 5th level demon pills, the effect of the second one will be greatly weakened. Therefore, the object of this consumption was Bailing. There are 2 demon pills in total. The demon pill of Lei Jing has been specially treated. The demon power in it has been refined by 80% to 90%. leaving only the restraining effect of absorbing thunder. The effect of this level of demon pills on spiritual beasts is negligible. The best choice is still this night demon beast demon pill. In the blessed land bead, Beiling was extremely excited. She played with Chen Qingyun for a while, and then opened her mouth and swallowed the demon pill. This was a 5th grade upper grade demon pill, much better than the one Mo Ling had eaten before. It is estimated that the effect it can bring should be better than Mo Ling s. Thinking of this, Chen Qingyun touched Beiling's big head and said with great expectation, "You are now at the initial stage of the golden elixir. After refining this 5th grade upper grade demon pill, you can probably advance to the peak of the golden elixir in one fell swoop. The demon pill that Mo Ling ate last time was not as good as yours." Feeling Chen Qingyun's favor, Beiling squinted her eyes and enjoyed it, and did not forget to hum a few times to express her excitement. Because it is necessary to refine the power in it, it is impossible to know the effect of Beiling's promotion in a short time, so we can only wait patiently. As for the group of golden-winged insects, this one is easy to tame. Chen Qingyun temporarily decided not to put them into the blessed land bead, but to leave them in the spirit beast bag to get familiar with them first, and then optimize their blood with the ancient white stone. In order to provide sufficient food, Chen Qingyun put some spirit stones and low-level spirit medicines into the spirit beast bag. He also hunted some fish monsters around Xinhai Island to improve their food and enrich their nutrition. These days, Chen Xianmin personally took charge of the transcription affairs and arranged some trustworthy and potential young monks to do the transcription. Other monks in the family can also sign up freely. After a few years of absence, the Chen family's monks have developed rapidly, and now have grown to more than 1,200 people, and the total population of the family has reached more than 210,000. After Chen Xianmin issued the transcription task and formulated the corresponding merit rewards, in just 3 days, almost 1,000 monks signed up enthusiastically. This kind of good thing of copying books to increase knowledge and gain merit is rare, and almost all Chen family monks want to participate in it. If Chen Xianmin, Chen Daoran and others were not busy with affairs and had to practice, they would also want to participate. Chen Qingyun, Chen Qingguang and others also suspended their practice and participated in the transcription, thereby increasing their experience and accumulating knowledge. In this way, 2.5 years passed in a blink of an eye. With the participation of cultivators in copying, the efficiency is not only faster than that of ordinary people, but also when copying, it is equivalent to reading the copied books in full. This greatly increased the knowledge of the cultivators and enriched their hearts. In order to pay attention to the progress of copying, Li Mubing, Luo Huzi and others lived on Linjian Island most of the time and practiced in the Wuxing Wall of Enlightenment. Many giant and peak cultivators came to the island, including Zhigrani of the Narcissus lineage and Xuanbing Island strongmen. This made some new generation cultivators of the Chen family take special care and take the opportunity to win over and make friends. Chen Xianmin specifically reminded them not to lose the face of the Chen family cultivators. More young generation cultivators of the family learned that Li Mubing, Wen Xiumen and other giant ancestors were all distinguished guests brought back to the family by Chen Qingyun. In addition to being curious, they also admired Chen Qingyun a little more. In terms of connections, few people in the Starry Sea can invite so many giant and cultivators to gather at one time and be guests in the family. Even if it is a Xingzong, to summon 7 or 8 giant and cultivators, it needs to give benefits or issue a conscription order. A total of more than 50,000 books, all of which were copied word for word in 8 copies. Chen Qingyun kept the original version with himself, and placed some bookshelf collections in the blessed land beads for reference at any time. The one shared with Li Mubing, Zhigrani and others was agreed long ago. Another copy was shared with the family and included in the family's sutra pavilion. When I went to find Luo Huzi and others, they were immersed in the enlightenment of the 5 elements wall during this period. They rarely showed up, and only came out to take a look when they were concerned about the progress of the copying. Knowing that all the books had been copied, Luo Huzi was reluctant to leave the Chen family. He scratched his head and said, "It's so fast, it's done so quickly. 2.5 years is not really fast. but it feels like time flies when you are immersed in practice. After everyone shared a copy of the book, checked it, and made sure there were no omissions, Chen Qingyun asked them about their next plans. After more than 2 years of interrupting the nobles, I should go back to Yaoang Mountain. If you are free in the future, come to Yaoang Mountain to sit down. Mu, Dao Ren said politely with a smile. Li Mubing, Wen Ziumen and others also responded. After 2 years of chattering, they also had to go back home. Luohuzi was a little reluctant, and said, "Hey, I am a little reluctant to leave this Enlightenment 5 Elements wall. Maybe I can stay in it for 10 or 20 years to practice, and I am sure I can break through the nascent soul stage. However, after all, it is the nobles who are disturbing me, and I can't stay here with a flattering face." Luo Huzi's sigh also made Wen Ziumen feel a little regretful. This Enlightenment 5 Elements wall is quite effective for cultivation. If she can practice more in the Chen family, she will not refuse. Luo Huzi's sigh made Chen Qingyun pay attention, thinking of the previous agreement with the family to test the mouth of Luo Huzi and others. Chen Qingyun struck while the iron was hot, looked at Luo Huzi, and smiled slightly. "Fellow Taoist Luo, if you can join my Chen family and serve as the guest elder, you will naturally have the qualifications and reasons to stay in Linjian Island to practice. This Enlightenment 5 Elements wall can naturally be used by you freely." As soon as these words came out, Luo Huzi's expression immediately moved. Who among those present could not hear the meaning of Chen Qingyun's words? Chen Qingyun asked this question at this moment, which must represent the Chen family. Luo Huzi reacted quickly and said with a look of expectation, "Luo is just a casual cultivator, and I am grateful for the love of the nobles." Several people heard his tone and seemed to be about to refuse, but the next moment he changed the subject. "Haha, sure, if you don't mind, I am willing to join you." Chapter 878 Beilinging number 039:S Advancement. Luo Huzi's response was beyond Chen Qingyun's expectation. He didn't expect the other party to agree so quickly. The specific benefits have not been explained yet. With Luo Huzi's generous statement, he took the lead and agreed first. Chen Qingyun struck while the iron was hot and simply asked Li Mubing, Wen Ziumen, and Zupopo what they thought, and introduced the benefits. "You are all from the Purple Mansion stage to the Golden Core stage." In terms of benefits, the Purple Mansion stage guest elders can receive 2,400 spirit stones from my Chen family every year. The Golden Core stage guest elders can receive 5,000 spirit stones every year, which are also equivalent to the same amount of merit. With merit, you can exchange for cultivation resources in the Chen family. This merit system is the same as the good deeds system of the sect. Speaking of this, Chen Qingyun's eyes fell on the Enlightenment 5 Elements wall in front of him and increased his voice. "In addition, as a guest elder of my Chen family, you are naturally qualified to use the Enlightenment 5 Elements wall." Chen Qingyun introduced these benefits in detail, and explained some matters that need to be paid attention to as a guest elder of the Chen family, and the rules that should be followed. The most important thing is to abide by the clan rules of the Chen family. When the Chen family is in danger, they also need to obey the arrangements and be united against the outside world. In terms of personal freedom, there are no restrictions. You can choose to live freely in Linjian Island, Yuanzhu Island, Psychedelic Island and other places. Of course, other places are also fine. You can come whenever you are called. After Chen Qingyun finished the introduction, such a generous treatment immediately made Wen Ziumen excited. As a casual cultivator, she knows how difficult it is to earn resources. This welfare treatment given by the Chen family has an annual income of 5,000 spirit stones, which is stable and long-term, and she can't refuse it at all. It just so happens that in the past 10 years, the spiritual island Bishui Island where she is located has been invaded by a beast tide, and the giant and demon king has taken the lead in causing trouble, and it is no longer possible to live there for a long time. The invitation from the Chen family solved the urgent problem of finding a place for cultivation, and it came at the right time. More importantly, they could also enjoy the right to use the Wudao 5 Elements wall. which was even more irresistible. Following Luo Huzi, Wen Xiumen nodded slowly and responded very directly, "Okay, I can join the Chen family." Chen Qingyun did not need to explain what the position of a guest elder was. Li Mubing and others knew it very well. They subconsciously looked at the Wudao Five Elements wall and then at Baoang. This time, Chen Qingyun personally sent out the invitation. In order to increase the success rate, he deliberately brought Baoang with him to attract Li Mubing and others to agree. Mu Daoran saw that Baoang had been staying in the Chen family for more than 2 years and did not seem to go out. He couldn't help but ask curiously, "Senior Lu, are you also a guest elder of the Chen family?" As soon as this was said, it immediately attracted everyone's attention. Sensing everyone's gaze, Baoang nodded lightly. "That's right." This response surprised Mu Dao Ren, Xiu Popo and others. They all thought that the Chen family was amazing. There was actually a guest elder in the nascent soul stage. Chen Qingyun smiled secretly in his heart, expecting someone to ask this question. Due to the content of the agreement, Li Mubing and others could not disclose the strength that Ba Huang showed in the Five Elements sect ruins. They naturally would not announce to the public that the Chen family in Linjian Island had a guest elder in the nascent soul stage named Lu Yuan. Ba Huang's appearance now and giving such an answer would further attract them to join the Chen family. It also shows that the Chen family has the ability to let them serve as guest elders without any loss. Mu Dao Ren came from Yaoang Mountain and was bound by the sect rules. He could no longer hold any position in the outside forces. He could only sigh and shake his head to refuse. "Alas, I already have a master, but unfortunately I cannot violate the rules of the sect. I appreciate the kindness of fellow Taoist Chen. Although I cannot serve as a guest elder of the nobles, we can still communicate more and maintain this friendship." Grandma Zhu and Li Mubing said that they needed to think about it and could not give an answer at this time. Song Xin and Yu Ying both had some ideas about joining the Chen family, but they had to see how Li Mubing answered, and they certainly could not make a decision without Li Mubing. "Then, you can give me an answer in 3 days." Chen Qingyun gave a consideration period. After saying goodbye to Li Mubing and others, Chen Qingyun returned to his residence and paid attention to the changes in Beiling and the golden-winged insect. 6 months ago, the golden-winged insect was successfully domesticated and absorbed some of the good fortune of the ancient white stone, falling into a dormant state and has not yet awakened. On Beiling's side, Chen Qingyun observed for 2 days and finally waited until Beiling refined all the power in the demon pill and was promoted to the peak of the golden pill in one fell swoop. This is only 1 step away from the nascent soul stage. Compared to Mo Ling, Beiling is a bit stronger and has made great progress. Beiling realized that her strength had improved, and flew happily in the sky, occasionally making a few gestures with Mo Ling, appearing very agile and lively. The former Qi refining stage spiritual pet has gradually improved to the current golden core stage. Looking back on the past, Chen Qingyun felt that time had flown by. 2. Golden core peak spiritual beasts, Mo Ling, Beiling. I don't know who among you will be the first to break through to the nascent soul stage. Let me look forward to it. Chen Qingyun was very relaxed at this moment, following the 2 spirit pets flying in the sky, looking forward to the spirit pets advancing to the 5th level and transforming into human form. 3 days passed in a flash. Li Mubing's third daughter, Granny Zhu, responded and agreed to join the Chen family as guest elders. After Chen Qingyun told Chen Xianming the news, the old patriarch was overjoyed and personally summoned more than a dozen family leaders to hold a meeting and invited Luo Huzi and others to attend. At the meeting, Chen Xianming formally nominated Luo Huzi, Granny Zhu, Wen Xiumen, Li Mubing, Song Xin, and Yu Ying as guest elders of the family. Due to the previously added agreement, Chen Qingyun did not have to worry about them having any calculations against the Chen family. Luo Huzi and the other 6 would not do such a stupid thing of shooting themselves in the foot. 6 guest elders were recruited at once, including 1 at the peak of the Purple Mansion and 5 at the peak of the Golden Core, which alarmed many Chen family cultivators. After asking around, it was learned that the reason why these people were able to join the family was entirely due to Chen Qingyun. which made many family cultivators respect and admire Chen Qingyun even more. Only a family legend, a son of a unicorn like Chen Qingyun, could invite so many strong men to join the family. Besides, who else in the family could do this? Because they had to deal with the aftermath of Old Monster Yen, this matter could not be delayed any longer. After Li Mubing and others discussed, they decided to let Baoang be the supervisor, and let Chen Qingyun follow along, and follow Wohuzi to find the descendants of Old Monster Yen. Chapter 879 Purple Sun True Thunder. 2 days later, Chen Qingyun and the others took a wind and thunder boat and flew out of Linjian Island to the Sea of 10,000 Demons. More than 2 months later, in a spiritual island city in the eastern part of Penglai Immortal Domain, the two found the descendants of Old Monster Yen and verified their identities. This is a couple. The man is the son of Old Monster Yen, his name is Hu Yancheng, and he has the early cultivation level of Zaifu. The woman's name is Zhuxiantu. Her cultivation is in the late stage of foundation building, and she is the daughter-in-law of Old Monster Yen. After learning that Old Monster Yen had died, Hu Yancheng looked sad and almost lost his balance, but was supported by Zhuxiantu. Why did Old Monster Yen die? Luohuzi did not describe the specific process in detail. According to the discussion, Luohuzi left a storage bag and told him that it contained 11.56 million spirit stones and 2 nascent soul techniques. The 2 skills correspond to the spiritual roots of Hu Yancheng and Zhuxiantu, which are the Earth Spirit Sutra and the Mushenju respectively. Luohuzi knew quite a bit about the descendants of Old Monster Yen. As for Luohuzi, Hu Yancheng and his wife had been warned by Old Monster Yen in their early years that if they were in trouble in the future, they could turn to Luohuzi for help. Old Monster Yen has made many enemies in his life, and he has also been at odds with many of his sect members on Danfu Island. He has a weird temperament. In order to protect Hu Yancheng, he and his wife could only be allowed to live in this city. Seeing the sorrowful expressions of the two of them, Luohuzi couldn't bear it, showed his tender side, and patiently comforted them with a few words. In order for the fallen leaves to return to their roots, Luohuzi left behind Old Monster Yen's body and storage bag, as well as a communication talisman. Luo, I'm sorry for Old Monster Yen. If you have any difficulties in the future, just use this communication talisman to tell me and I will try my best to help you. You are not young anymore. You also understand the principle of not revealing your wealth. I won't say more. Your father's storage bag is also here. I haven't touched any of the things in it. The remaining spiritual thoughts are also there. You can tell the difference between true and false. Over at Danfu Island, have they ever looked for you? Luo, Huzi asked with concern. Hu Yancheng suppressed his emotions and answered truthfully, 2 years ago, Master Yuan Fu from Danfu Island and 2 Zaifu monks came to us and inquired about the whereabouts of my father in a very vague way, but they did not tell us that he had died. At that time, Hu Yancheng guessed that his father might have been killed, but he was not willing to believe it. Without asking anything here, the monks from Danfu Island said goodbye and left, and they never came back again. Over at Danfu Island, please be careful and don't let anyone take advantage of you. Luo, Huyan patted Hu Yancheng on the shoulder and stayed in Fangxi for a day. He and Chen Qingyun followed Hu Yancheng and his wife. After burying Old Monster Yen, he left. After returning to the Sea of 10,000 Demons, Luohuzi invited Chen Qingyun to go home as a guest and took his wife and daughter to live on Linjian Island. Of course Chen Qingyun would not refuse this idea. Luohuzi's home is also in Penglai Immortal Domain, on a spiritual island. This island is called Huangbo Island. It has a 4th level spiritual vein. It belongs to the territory of Luohuzi and his wife. It is an unknown island. The island has beautiful scenery. There are only 3 Luohuzes and some small spiritual beasts living here. It can be regarded as a paradise. After staying on Huangbo Island for 2 days, everyone set off and flew straight to the Star Seed. After returning to Linjian Island and explaining the results to Wenzai Uman, Taoist Mu and others, Li Mubing and others felt relieved that Old Monster Yen's share of the benefits had been left to his descendants. The matter with fellow Taoist Yen has been resolved, and we feel a little more at ease. Oh, what a pity. Mu. Taoist sighed with emotion, then said goodbye and returned to Yaoang Mountain. Let's go back to Zhuan Island first and come back in a few months. Li, Mubing and Chen Qingyun informed, taking Songzhen and Zhu with them. They also flew away from Lingjian Island to bring the Kung Fu books back to Zhuan Island for collection. This Enlightenment 5 Elements wall, I wonder if my daughter and my wife can use it? Luo Huzi asked with a smile. Of course you can. Chen Qingyun responded, not forgetting to invite him by the way. If they are interested, they can also join the Chen family and serve as guest elders. You may wish to consider it. Luo Linger's current cultivation level is in the middle stage of Zaifu, which has increased somewhat. Li Shui is still in the middle stage of Jiandan. With such strength, she is the target of the Chen family. There was recognition of his identity and the receipt of the spirit stone. Luo Huzi had a few words with his wife and daughter, and accepted Chen Qingyun's invitation on the same day. Chen Xianmin held another meeting and announced that Li Shui and Luo Linger would serve as the elders of Qingguang. As of now, the number of guest elders in the Chen family has reached 32, including 6 at the Golden Core stage. After his wife and daughter got their status recognized, Luo Huzi took Li Shui and Luo Linger to the 5 Elements Wall of Enlightenment and practiced together on the same day. In the following days, Grandma Zhou also expressed her intention to return to Lingbo Island to bring back the opportunity of inheritance. When Xiaoman settled on Lingjian Island and rarely showed up. After returning to Zhenhai Island, he lived a quiet and comfortable life for a few days. With the inheritance of the 5 elements sex weapon refining skills in hand, Chen Qingyun began to get busy. I decided to immerse myself in weapon refining, and after improving my skills in weapon refining, I would pick cold flame flowers to retreat and hit the middle stage of nascent soul. The latest picking period for Hunyuan flowers is still 3 years away. During the 2.5 years when the family was copying books, Chen Qingyun was not idle. While learning the inheritance of the 5th level weapon refining technique, he was also practicing the refining the sun and melting the sea. This refining the sun and melting the sea is divided into 4 levels, corresponding to the 4 nascent soul realms of early, middle, late, and peak. This technique is specially designed for nascent soul cultivators with fire attributes, and the minimum requirement for cultivation is the early nascent soul stage. The first level requires cultivators to absorb the Hunyuan purple qi in the sun at dawn and sunset every day to consolidate the nascent soul and enhance the power of the nascent soul. Chen Qingyun spent 2.5 years practicing this technique every day, and has absorbed and refined a large amount of Hunyuan purple qi, consolidating his cultivation to the bottleneck period. Once he broke through the bottleneck and reached the middle stage of the nascent soul, he stepped into the 2nd level of the technique, and could begin to transform the Hunyuan purple qi in his body and condense it into the purple sun divine fire. This fire is extremely domineering. After it is released, it can easily kill cultivators of the same level, and can refine the purple sun true thunder. The power of a purple sun true thunder is comparable to the self-explosion of a cultivator in the middle stage of the nascent soul, which is enough to threaten a cultivator in the late stage of the nascent soul. According to Chen Qingyun's current progress in cultivation, he has already mastered the 1st level of the technique and can start to condense the purple sun divine fire and impact the middle stage of the nascent soul. With the assistance of the cold flame flower, the chance of this breakthrough is greatly increased. Of course, the retreat will not be on Lingjian Island, but must be carried out secretly on Zhenhai Island. The current task can first break through the threshold of refining equipment and upgrade to the 5th level. Before this, Chen Qingyun checked the spiritual treasures he obtained in the 5 Elements sect, a total of 7. The 5 Elements spiritual treasures such as the Golden Rainbow Bow and the 9 Flame Fan are all good things. Chen Qingyun studied the Black Flag and found that it was a middle-grade spiritual treasure of wind attribute and had 2 effects. Chapter 880, Affection Ring, Breakthrough to Level 5. One of the effects of the Black Flag is that when facing an enemy, it can release a black wind tornado and capture the opponent's magic weapon for one's own use. However, it is important to note that this effect is not effective for magical weapons of the same level, and is far inferior to the Green Brilliance Mirror and the Cauldron of All Things. The second effect is to perform a Black Wind attack, which is a very conventional move. The seventh spiritual treasure is a red ring called the Passionate Ring, which has the effect of binding enemies. It comes from a nascent soul female elder of the Five Elements sect. After refining this spiritual treasure, it is worth mentioning that the name of the spiritual treasure appeared in Chen Qingyun's mind. Love Ring. In order to pass on this spiritual treasure, the refiner recorded some information in the spiritual treasure, telling how to use it and what effects it had. These magical weapons further strengthened Chen Qingyun's strength. After putting away the Black Flag and other spiritual treasures, Chen Qingyun focused on the inheritance of weapon refining and decided to refine the spiritual treasures to attack the 5th level weapon refiner. According to the records on the jade slips, I observed some 5th level weapon recipes, including 6 methods for refining low-level spiritual treasures. The Sky-Covering Flag, the Thunder Bead, the 9-Fire Golden Luan Sword, the Silver Moon Heart Jade, the Heavy Water Golden Wheel, and the Magic Net. Looking at these 6 6th-level weapon prescriptions and combining them with the materials he had in hand, Chen Qingyun decided to try to refine the Silver Moon Heart Jade. This object is a low-grade spiritual treasure that has the miraculous effect of isolating spiritual consciousness. Most of the required materials such as Silver Stone and Mysterious Sky Stone are gathered in the ruins of the Five Elements sect. The missing 4th Order Mica Gold Stone was something Chen Qingyun had seen in Lingbao Mountain. This time he happened to go to Lingbao Mountain to meet Liu Zilin. 5 days later, at Lingbao Mountain, Chen Qingyun exchanged 5 mica gold stones at the resource hall with the help of Liu Zilin. Refining the 5th level magic weapon is quite mysterious and requires a lot of time. The number of formation patterns that need to be engraved is at least 1,000. Generally speaking, only cultivators at the peak of the golden core, preferably nascent soul cultivators, can have such a huge amount of spiritual energy to refine 5th level magic weapons. Chen Qingyun is assisted by Zhuxiantu, which can get twice the result with half the effort, and his own strength also meets the requirements. Over the past 2 years, Chen Qingyun has continuously accumulated knowledge about weapon refining, understood the principles and applications of various formation patterns, and drawn inferences from one example. At present, you only need to learn the refining method of the Silver Moon Heart Jade step by step, and understand more of its mysterious essence. I spent more than 3 years in seclusion at Lingbao Mountain and tried to refine the Silver Moon Heart Jade 3 times. The first 2 failures were due to the inscription of formation patterns, because many of the new formation patterns were not very familiar. A total of 1,339 formation patterns need to be engraved at once, which is a test for Yuanying monks. After inscribing the formation for the 2nd time, Chen Qingyun still felt very relaxed after learning the lessons and inscribing the last 13 formation patterns. The powerful mana brought by the 5 elements nascent soul far exceeds the soul of a monk of the same level, and it has more powerful spiritual thoughts. With the blessing of these advantages, Chen Qingyun is the icing on the cake, and with the successful engraving of the last formation pattern, it comes to a perfect ending. A crescent-shaped, silver-colored jade pendant floats slowly. Under Chen Qingyun's gaze, the silver jade pendant slowly released a circle of spiritual treasure's unique aura, spreading to all directions, appearing somewhat gentle. Then, the jade pendant itself rotated slightly, emitting silvery white light, and fell into Chen Qingyun's hands. Silver Moon Heart Jade is finished. After almost 4 years of retreat, Chen Qingyun looked overjoyed when he made a breakthrough. After the Lingbao was born, the spreading aura was not obvious, but the surrounding caves were also far apart. But this anomaly still alarmed the senior officials of Lingbao Shan. That day, Qin Zixuan, Zhang Zifan, and even several masters of Lingbao Mountain's weapon refiners gathered around Liu Zilin's cave. Such a powerful aura is not something that can be possessed by a natal magic weapon. It must be a spiritual treasure. This elder Liu has actually broken through to a 5th level weapon refiner? Zhang Zifan felt very uneasy and said in surprise. The last time I felt the aura of such a magical weapon was 6 years ago, When Yang Jiazu refined a spiritual treasure and advanced to the 5th level of weapon refiner. At that time, the Lingbao was released, and he successfully advanced to the 5th level weapon refiner, which shocked Lingbao Mountain and attracted many disciples to cheer. Now, another spiritual treasure has been released. Is this because Liu Zilin has improved her weapon refining skills? It may not be Elder Liu, it should be Chen Qingyun. Qin Zixuan said, knowing that Chen Qingyun was a guest in Lingbao Mountain during this period. He guessed the real owner at a glance. Chen Qingyun, it's him. Zhang Zifan opened his mouth and felt shocked for a moment. A 5th level weapon refiner, this is the top weapon refiner in Lingbao Mountain, a supreme existence that can be as famous as Great Chen Yang Jiazu. What kind of evildoer is this Chen Qingyun to be so awesome? Zhang Zifan felt more and more fortunate that he had not offended Chen Qingyun in the first place, but had been treating him well and kindly in accordance with Qin Zixuan's order. Outside the cave, Qin Zixuan, Zhang Zifan and others were attracted. Chen Qingyun quickly noticed it and didn't care at all. After leaving the retreat room, Liu Zilin was already waiting outside the door. She felt happy that Chen Qingyun's weapon refining skills had improved. At noon that day, Qin Zixuan couldn't help but come over and meet Chen Qingyun by name. Chen Qingyun has great respect for the leader of Lingbao Shan. Over the years, I have been able to go back and forth to Lingbao Mountain without being expelled. Instead, I felt like I was in my own back garden. Being able to be so free obviously meant that Qin Zixuan nodded. Qin Zixuan's intention was very direct, without any intention of beating around the bush, and he praised directly. Fellow, Daoist Chen is indeed a rare talent. He has become a 5th level weapon refiner at such a young age. With such achievements, he is on par with the great elder of our sect. This was not a question, but a test to see if Chen Qingyun was willing to admit that he was the one who caused the spiritual treasure to come out of the furnace today. Yang Jiazu. Chen Qingyun had some impression when he heard this. Chen Qingyun had heard of Yang Jiazu, the great elder of Lingbao Mountain. He represented the top figure of the pyramid of Xinghai weapon refinery world and was also the golden signboard of Lingbao Mountain. I used to think that this person was unattainable and incomparable, but now they are on equal footing. Guessing Qin Zixuan's intention, Chen Qingyun did not hide it and smiled modestly. I am sorry to bother your sect with this lucky breakthrough. After confirming Chen Qingyun's attainments in refining weapons, Qin Zixuan did not seem to be surprised. After a few polite words, she asked Chen Qingyun about his thoughts on deepening his knowledge of refining weapons in the future. This caused Chen Qingyun to secretly move his face, thinking that Qin Zixuan was trying to win him over to join Lingbao Mountain, but he did not expect the other party to change the subject. The 5th level refining technique has almost reached the pinnacle in the inner sea. If fellow Taoist Chen wants to go further, he will probably have to go out of the inner sea and venture out to the mainland. This 6th level refining technique was inherited by the 5 Elements sect. Of course, Chen Qingyun would not reveal it, but just smiled without comment. Chapter 881 Microspirit Stone Mine. It is not surprising that Lingbao Mountain knows about the inner sea. Qin Zixuan mentioned the mainland at this time. It seems that she should have some knowledge about it. Does she want to talk about this topic? Just as Chen Qingyun was thinking, Qin Zixuan's voice continued to sound. The weapon refining heritage of my Lingbao Mountain actually originated from the holy weapon sect of the mainland's immortal cultivation world. It's a pity that there is now a barrier of the boundary sea. It is not easy to set foot on the mainland. Without the cultivation of the nascent soul stage, how can we talk about crossing the boundary sea? We are just birds in a cage, dreaming of the day when we can break free from the cage and fly high. Qin Zixuan sighed faintly. As soon as the voice fell, she looked at Chen Qingyun with a smile, as if she wanted to see flowers on Chen Qingyun's face. Seeing the other party's thoughts, Chen Qingyun continued to hide his cultivation and just responded lightly, "It's not easy to cross the boundary sea." Has sect leader Qin ever been to the boundary sea? I have been there, but those are all old stories. Let's not talk about it. Next, Qin Zixun didn't ask much about where Chen Qingyun got the weapon refining inheritance or whether he got it by himself. She looked at Chen Qingyun deeply, didn't bother him much, and got up to say goodbye. After returning to the sect leaders' hall, Qin Zixun summoned Zhang Zifan and several sect leaders and ordered them not to offend Chen Qingyun in the future and to treat him well. This order made Zhang Zifan and others guess the reason. This weapon refining master who can rival the Great Elder is definitely a hot commodity in the Star Sea. It is estimated that the Star Sect will also treat him well and will not offend him for no reason. As long as Chen Qingyun does not cause trouble in Lingbao Mountain, it is not impossible to let Chen Qingyun come and go freely, and even open the door to convenience. Next, while continuing to learn the art of refining weapons, Chen Qingyun accompanied Liu Zilin to go out and relax. The two of them went to the market around Lingbao Mountain and simply purchased some broken 4th level magic weapons to see if there were any interesting weapon recipes, resources and treasures. Not long after, the two of them left Lingbao Mountain together and flew back to Zhenhai Island. After 4 years of absence, Chen Qingyun chatted with Chen Qinglun and Chen Qingyun on Zhenhai Island, and taught Qinglun the Heavenly River Heavy Water skill and Ice Soul Magic skill. After not seeing each other for a few years, Chen Qinglun's cultivation has improved and reached the peak of the Purple Mansion. This speed of cultivation made Chen Qingyun marvel. Qinglun, according to your progress in cultivation, you will soon catch up with your 5th sister. You must keep working hard. Chen Qingyun doted on his sister and selected 2 top-grade magic weapons to give to Qinglun as a congratulations. Chen Qinglun shook his head and did not accept the magic weapon. Brother, I am a 3rd-grade top-grade weapon refiner. I can refine these magic weapons myself. You can use them, but you can keep them. By the way, I have made great progress in formation recently. Guess what level and grade I am now? Chen Qinglun blinked and said mischievously, brother, guess. 1st grade. Top grade? No, I am making rapid progress. Chen Qinglun said with a grin, I am now 2nd grade bottom grade. After just a few years of not seeing each other, last time, Qinglun's formation was still at the 1st grade bottom grade level, but now it has been upgraded to a higher grade. Such progress surprised Chen Qingyun, and he also secretly guessed that his sister was not really the reincarnation of a great cultivator, right? Thinking of this, Chen Qingyun congratulated her, and then asked Qinglun if she had encountered any strange things in recent years. For example, whether there were some extra memories in her mind out of thin air. Or had she had some strange dreams or something like that. Chen Qinglun thought for a moment and shook his head, saying, only the formation is strange. I see that he learns very quickly, as if he is reviewing. There is nothing strange about the rest. I rarely dream when I sleep at night. Even if I do, I almost forget it the next day. After asking a few questions carefully, only the formation is strange, which makes Chen Qingyun pay attention secretly and more certain that Qinglun's life experience is not simple. Heavenly spiritual roots, innate Taoist body, and suddenly awakened formation talent. These are not simple when taken alone, and they are even more extraordinary when combined together. How could it be so coincidental that all these talents are concentrated in one person? It will take a while to find out the reason. Now, the only clue that is still useful is the silver ring magic treasure that Qinglun picked up on Zhenhai Island. Chen Qingyun has never understood it. This level of magic weapon is rare in the Star Sea. Which prodigal son would throw it out like this? Even if a Yuanian cultivator holds a magic treasure, he will keep it like a treasure. It is impossible for him not to know that the magic treasure is lost. So it seems that someone did it on purpose? Could it be that a nascent soul cultivator or a spiritualization cultivator appeared on Zhenhai Island? After Chen Qinglun continued to practice, Chen Qingyun kept an eye on the situation around Zhenhai Island in the next few days. After carefully investigating with his spiritual sense, he did not find anything suspicious. In a sea area near Zhenhai Island, a blessed land bead was quietly placed in the corals on the seabed, and its aura was completely hidden, blending with the surroundings. Chen Qingyun was completely unaware of Yu Lingshu's hiding method, so how could he pay close attention to every blade of grass and every stone on the seabed? There are billions of these things on the seabed, countless. Chen Qingyun's cultivation has not changed for the time being. In the past few days, he has been busy carrying out Xingzong tasks, earning merits to improve his weapon refining skills, and most of the time he is not on Zhenhai Island. In the next few days, Chen Qingyun looked through the jade slips obtained in the Five Elements sect ruins in his spare time. Among them, the jade slips from the General Affairs Hall contain a lot of task information. There are a total of 399 jade slips, and Chen Qingyun is going to check them to see if there are any opportunities to gain. Li Mubing and others also obtain some such jade slips, which can be opened like a blind box to get some opportunities. If the information in the jade slip is still valid and can obtain some spiritual fruits, spiritual medicines and other treasures, it can also be shared with the family and let the family obtain them. Chen Qingyun looked carefully and found information about a spiritual vein. This is a miniature spiritual stone mine located in the Thunder Spirit Sea. If it can be recorded in the jade slip and has not been destroyed, it means that the task has not been completed. Chen Qingyun informed Chen Xianming of this discovery and decided to have the family send someone to take a look. The Chen family will one day go out of the Star Sea and set foot on the 10,000 Monster Sea and the Thunder Spirit Sea. Spiritual stone veins. Wow, this is a good thing. I think it can be mined. However, the veins have always been extremely precious and are a must-have for all major sects. It is hard to say whether this information is true or not. Where did you get this information from? How sure are you? Chen Xianming asked. Chapter 882 Breakthrough to the Middle Stage of Yuaning. Chen Qingyun was unwilling to reveal the Five Elements sect's remains, and simply responded, I was lucky enough to obtain a tasked jade slip from the Huashan sect. We'll know if the records in it are true. When he heard that the information in the jade slip came from the Huashan sect, it was estimated that it came from the same sect as the previous martial arts books. Chen Xianming immediately dispelled his concerns and decided to take a look. Okay, I'll arrange this matter myself. I hope we can get another spiritual mine. Chen Xianming was looking forward to it. Chen Qingyun didn't need to worry about exploring the mineral veins. The family would be fully responsible. According to Chen Xianming's promise, if this matter could be accomplished later, according to the family rules, Chen Qingyun would get a share of the mineral veins profits. After staying on Zhenhai Island temporarily and accompanying Liu Zilin for a few days, Chen Qingyun mentioned that he was going to retreat to impact the middle stage of the nascent soul. For Chen Qingyun's progress and the beginning of another breakthrough, Liu Zilin was no longer surprised, and guessed that Chen Qingyun had obtained some opportunities. After watching Chen Qingyun enter the Blessed Land, Liu Zilin continued to stay on Zhenhai Island, waiting for Chen Qingyun to come out of retreat, and also acted as a guardian. Breaking through the middle stage of the nascent soul will not cause any strange phenomena in the world, and there is no need to go to Huangsha Island to break through. The water spirit vein provides sufficient spiritual energy from the heaven and earth, which is enough to satisfy this retreat. Chen Qingyun picked 3 cold flame flowers and began to retreat, sitting cross-legged on the water spirit vein. The 3 cold flame flowers exuded a cold chill, like 3 ice blue flames, causing layers of frost to condense on the surface of the water spirit vein, and the temperature around them dropped sharply. Chen Qingyun was here, and frost condensed on his hair, eyebrows, and even clothes, as if he was in the ice and snow in the cold winter. This kind of cold has no effect on the nascent soul cultivator. Chen Qingyun started to practice the refining sun melting sea sutra, dispelled the coldness with the power of the technique, and then began to absorb the essence of a cold flame flower. The method to break through the middle stage is to absorb the essence of the cold flame flower and complement each other with the exercises, transforming these essences into the power of the nascent soul and strengthening the nascent soul. The existence of the Heoyang purple chi is also the key to assisting the breakthrough, which can reconcile the power brought by the cold flame flower. Time passed day by day, immersed in practice, without noticing the passing of time. In a blink of an eye, the 4 seasons in the outside world changed. The Zhenhai Island was covered with snow, and then changed to grass and warblers, full of spring. In this way, 15 years passed quickly. On this day, as the third cold flame flower was refined in Chen Qingyun's body, a large amount of Hunyuan purple qi merged with the essence of the cold flame flower, and continued to transform into the power of the nascent soul, which continued to fill the nascent soul. At this time, the nascent soul appeared in the shape of a doll, with obvious facial features and limbs, similar to Chen Qingyun in his infancy, sitting cross-legged with his eyes closed and resting, and appeared in the sea of consciousness. The next moment, the light in the nascent soul rose sharply, emitting 5-color divine light, representing the power of the 5 elements of gold, wood, water, fire and earth in turn. This 5-element source power filled the entire blessed land bead, attracting Beiling, Bailing and Moling to come to protect the law. Just like that, after a while, with the appearance of the first ray of purple sun divine fire, the 5-color nascent soul shook, and the breath contained in it suddenly rose, rising to the middle stage of the nascent soul in one fell swoop. At this moment, the birth of the purple sun divine fire represented that the refining sun and melting sea sutra successfully advanced to the second level. Looking at the appearance of the nascent soul at this time, it was more lifelike, and the eyebrows moved, and then returned to the appearance of quiet meditation, which was quite lively. Middle stage of the nascent soul. Having successfully broken through the realm, Chen Qingyun couldn't help but smile to the sky. Haha, it's done. At this moment, experiencing the power increase brought by the body, you can clearly feel the gap between the early stage of the nascent soul. The strength of the spiritual consciousness can reach up to 6,000 miles. Now that the technique has reached the second level, why not use this opportunity to condense all the Hunyuan purple qi into the purple yang divine fire? Chen Qingyun was in high spirits and made up his mind to continue to sit cross-legged and practice. A large amount of Hunyuan purple qi surrounded the nascent soul, forming a purple mist, which set off the nascent soul's extraordinary momentum and a sense of nobility. According to the amount of these Hunyuan purple qi, it is entirely possible to condense a palm-sized purple yang divine fire. As long as the mana is sufficient, in theory, these purple yang divine fires can be used endlessly, and there is no need to worry about them running out. This entire condensation process requires patience step by step. In this way, time flies, and 3 years have passed unknowingly. When the Hunyuan purple qi around the nascent soul was all condensed and formed into the purple yang divine fire, Chen Qingyun suddenly opened his eyes on this day and exhaled a breath of turbid air. Finally the condensation is complete. This condensation gave birth to a fist-sized purple sun divine fire, and the technique broke through to the second level, slightly consolidating the strength. After leaving the blessed land Pearl, the scenery on Zhenhai Island has entered the hot summer season, with bursts of cicadas and birds singing. The sky is clear, the sun is blazing, and the wind is gentle. Meet Liu Zilin as soon as possible. After a conversation, Chen Qingyun found that this retreat has been 18 years. Middle nascent soul, Qingyun, your progress is so fast that I can't keep up with you. Liu Zilin sighed. Chen Qingyun smiled slightly, sensed Liu Zilin's cultivation, and found that she had broken through to the late golden core. Zilin, your strength has also improved. When did you break through? Liu Zilin blinked mischievously and smiled. I broke through 6 years ago. In addition to her strength, Liu Zilin has improved her weapon refining skills to the 4th level extreme, which is due to the fact that she shared the weapon refining inheritance with Chen Qingyun. In terms of talisman making, her progress is also remarkable, and she is already a 5th level lower grade talisman maker. To make a 5th level talisman, you don't need the strength of the nascent soul stage to do it. Although she is not as good as Chen Qingyun in the realm of cultivation, she is already among the top ranks in the Star Sea in terms of talisman making. If she hadn't stayed on Zhenhai Island for these years and guarded Chen Qingyun in seclusion, Liu Zilin would have been fully capable of reaching the 5th level weapon refiner realm. This breakthrough to the middle stage of the nascent soul, Chen Xianming, Chen Qingyun, Chen Qingluan, and Chen Qingyun on Zhenhai Island all noticed it and knew that Chen Qingyun was in seclusion. Now that he has come out of seclusion, they naturally guessed that Chen Qingyun had successfully broken through, and sent congratulations one after another. At the same time, Yu Lingshu quickly noticed this scene through the Lingbao Guanshan mirror. He broke through so quickly in the middle stage of the nascent soul. Did he take some rare treasure? Yu Lingshu was very surprised by Chen Qingyun's progress. It took her more than 150 years to go from the early stage of the nascent soul to the middle stage of the nascent soul. She still remembers that time very clearly, as most of the time was spent on hard training. Looking at Chen Qingyun, from the last time he broke through the nascent soul stage to now, only 34 years have passed. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 883, Star-Lord Returns, Xuanying Earth Marrow. After 34 years, Chen Qingyun has been able to break through from the initial stage to the middle stage. With such an extraordinary opportunity, he is indeed worthy of being the elder brother of the young master. Yu Lingshu sighed in her heart. Chen Qingyun's progress over the years has been under observation, and he can already be called a demon. His progress is really too fast. And now, looking at Chen Qingyun, he is really more demonic than the other. There are many natural treasures in this world, and there are treasures that can assist Yuanying cultivators to break through, such as Tanjing Yuan Sui, Han Yanhua, and Xu Fenyan. Regarding Chen Qingyun's opportunity, Yu Lingshu just sighed and did not interfere or investigate. The stronger Chen Qingyun is, the happier she is. If he can make a big splash and break through to the god transformation stage, it would be even better. At that time, he would not have to be afraid of Feng Lingcai, and he could also win over Chen Qingyun to help the young master avenge the past and further strengthen Huanyuan Palace. After just a moment of observation, Yu Lingshu stopped showing up and continued to practice here in secret. The Star Sea is really blessed with outstanding people and beautiful scenery. Recently, not only have 3 nascent soul cultivators been born in succession, but now there is also a mid-nascent soul cultivator, Chen Qingyun. This Star Sea is going to change, with 4 nascent soul cultivators in charge. I don't know if they can defeat the group of demon cultivators in the 10,000 Demon Sea this time. Yu Lingshu muttered to himself, with a bit of worry on his face. In fact, during the period when Chen Qingyun was not on the island, when there were purple mansion monsters active around Zhenhai Island, Yu Lingshu drove them away or killed them. This made this sea area very quiet, with at most some second-level monsters active here. But the recent situation in the Star Sea, with 3 nascent soul cultivators born in succession, was deliberately done by someone, which made Yu Lingshu realize that this matter was definitely not simple. In this quiet Star Sea, a huge storm must be brewing. Chen Qingyun did not notice Yu Lingshu's presence, and began to talk with Chen Qingyun and others, asking whether the family had been recruited by the Star Sect. In terms of time, there are still 2 years before the Star Sea Monster Tide, and it has been exactly 98 years since the last Star Sea Monster Tide ended. Chen Qingyun has been keeping an eye on this time. The Star Sea Monster Tide that happens every 100 years is about to hit, and we have indeed received the call from the Star Sect. Chen Qingyun said. The person who visited the Chen family this time was not the Star Patrol envoy Long Taifeng, but the Star Sect elder Lu Shengyang, who personally visited and invited the Chen family to participate in this expedition to protect the Star Sea together. This move by the Star Sect also represents the growth of the Chen family, which has been valued by the Star Sect and is no longer a mandatory call as before. If the Chen family is unwilling to participate in the expedition, the Star Sect will not force it. The clan leader has agreed to go on the expedition. According to the advice given by the Star Sect, we will dispatch a giant and cultivator, 3 Zaifu cultivators, and 500 family cultivators to participate. Chen Qingyun said carefully, informing Chen Qingyun of the forces that the Chen family will send this time. At the same time, She and King Luan will also participate. She represents a giant and cultivator, and she also participates as a patrolling star envoy, which not only shows the attitude of the Chen family, but also can gain good deeds. It is our duty to protect the Star Sea. It is reasonable for the family to have this idea. We cannot stay out of it and not help the Star Sect. Chen Qingyun said, without much hesitation on participating in the war. There are still 2 years before the war begins. Chen Qingyun is also ready to find out which cultivators the family will send. Should I participate in this war? Chen Qingyun was about to ask whether the candidates for the war have been decided, and Chen Qingyun took the initiative to inform him. The other 2 Purple Mansion cultivators are Chen Qingfeng and Chen Dalin. Among the other 500 family cultivators, 20 foundation building cultivators were dispatched, and the rest were Qi refining cultivators. These 500 people also volunteered to sign up, and the quota is now full, mostly some new generation cultivators. Of course, the Chen family is willing to send more cultivators, exceeding the number of 504 people, and Xingzong will naturally be happy to see it happen. In addition, the Star Sea has been particularly restless recently. To be precise, it is Xingzong that is different from usual. Chen Qingyun changed the subject, causing Chen Qingyun's expression to condense. Xingzong has abnormalities. What's going on? Xingzong is going to have internal strife? Chen Qingyun asked. No. Chen Qingyun shook his head. You have been in seclusion for 18 years, and you don't know what happened in Xingzong. This matter is related to the Yuanying cultivator and involves Xingzong. Let me tell you in detail. The 2 sat opposite each other, brewed tea, and began to talk about this matter. As Chen Qingyun's detailed narration, the ins and outs of the matter gradually became clear. Chen Qingyun was surprised to hear that Xinghai was brewing something big. The cause of the matter was that 16 years ago, Xingzong suddenly returned to Xinghai and brought back 3 pieces of Xuanying earth marrow. This Xuanying earth marrow is a spiritual object for forming an infant, like the Mother Earth Qi and the Earth Core Purple Jade. It can assist giant and cultivators in condensing the earth vein Yuanying. It is not found in the Star Sea. Xingzong, who has always been elusive, has not returned since leaving the Star Sect. It is said that he has already left the Inner Sea and ventured on the mainland. This sudden return alarmed the high-level officials of the Star Sect. The 3 pieces of Xuanying earth marrow also attracted the attention of several veteran giant and cultivators of the Star Sect. The specific reason why Xingzong suddenly returned and brought back the nascent soul is not clear to the outside world, and Chen Qingyun can only guess. And these 3 pieces of Xuanying earth marrow finally fell into the hands of 3 high-level Xingzong. These 3 people successively retreated in the next 15 years and successfully condensed the nascent soul in one fell swoop. Xingzong gave birth to 3 earth vein nascent soul cultivators in succession. Earth vein nascent soul. This grade of nascent soul cultivator can easily surpass the same grade of human vein nascent soul cultivators. Xingzong is really generous. Chen Qingyun was quite emotional. He had never seen what Xuanying earth marrow looked like in his practice so far. If Xingzong hadn't made a move, it would have been fine, but he took out 3 pieces at once. This was really extravagant. Chen Qingyun continued. These 3 pieces of Xuanying earth marrow were probably obtained by Xingzong in the immortal cultivation world on the mainland. Compared with the Inner Sea, the mainland is the most prosperous place for immortal cultivation. Xuanying earth marrow is such a spiritual object, and 3 pieces were obtained at once. The opportunities on the mainland must be far beyond our imagination. Chen Qingyun said with emotion. This involves the immortal cultivation world on the mainland. The 2 of them don't know much about it and haven't set foot there yet. They guess that this is the only possibility. The opportunities on the mainland must be thousands of times better than those on the Inner Sea. Chen Qingyun began to look forward to what the scene on the mainland would be like. Thinking of the 3 new nascent soul cultivators in Xinghai, he asked, which 3 people have broken through the nascent soul? Chapter 884 Denyin Pill. These 3 newly promoted nascent soul cultivators are, in order, the head of the Star Sect, the ancestor of the Hongling sect, and a supreme elder of the Star Sect. After The three of them successfully formed a baby. Xingzun also gave them 3 spiritual treasures, the Jiushan Demon Sword, the Tanlao Demon Suppressing Ring, and the two-edged mountain building axe. Chen Qingyun was very familiar with Hongling ancestor. This person was already a veteran powerhouse of the Star Sect. Decades ago, he participated in the Star Sect mission and teamed up with Ancestor Han, Li Mubing, Ancestor Hongling, and Wang Zonglai to go to the Sea of Riots to eradicate Giant Island. At that time, Ancestor Hongling's strength was about to reach the peak of the golden elixir. Now that he has broken through the nascent soul stage, if he thinks about it carefully, he has laid the foundation for breaking through the barrier long ago and has accumulated it for decades. Ancestor Hongling can break through the nascent soul, which is also a good thing for Qingguang, and further enhances the influence of our family. Speaking of Ancestor Hongling, Chen Qingyun subconsciously thought of Chen Qingyun as the apprentice of Patriarch Hongling. Now that his master has broken through the nascent soul, Chen Qingyun's status in the sect will naturally rise, and the same goes for Bai Yinyang. Good. Chen Qingyun nodded. This Qing sect is nothing more than a blockbuster. The 3 Earthline nascent soul monks are comparable to the initial combat power of more than 6 human-line nascent souls. Now they have further opened up the gap with several major sects on Qingguang Island. Who would have thought that in the past, when there was no Star Lord in charge of the Star Sect, the highest combat power would be the leader of the Star Sect at the peak of the Golden Cord. At that time, the Star Sect had been making the sects such as Qingguang Island and Yaoang Mountain catch up, hoping for a day when they would be on equal footing or even surpass them. Now, 3 nascent soul cultivators suddenly emerged from Xingzong, all of whom were Earthline nascent soul cultivators. As the #1 force in the Star Sea, the Star Sect really has a solid foundation and a background that far exceeds that of other forces. In addition, the Jiushan Demon Sword and other 3 spiritual treasures, judging by their names, are not simple magic weapons. They are probably at least middle-grade spiritual treasures, which have something to do with restraining monsters. Chen Qingyun continued, in the past few waves of Star Sea demons, Xingzun never returned to the Star Sea and always wandered outside. This sudden return brought the opportunity to have a baby, and he also took the initiative to give the demon-subduing spirit treasure. I'm afraid this foreshadows something. Chen Qingyun nodded slowly and guessed, the Xinghai demon tide is coming. Why did you do this in the past 10 years? Is it related to this Xinghai demon tide? As soon as these words came out, Chen Qingyun's expression condensed and showed seriousness. If it is as you expected, then in this wave of demons in the Star Sea, is it possible that there will be a nascent soul demon emperor appearing, and there will be more than one? Chen Qingyun was silent. This was just a guess. We still need to inquire more about the specific situation. On the same day, Chen Qingyun took off his flying boat and went to Xingzong to see what the current situation of Xingzong was like. Since he holds the position of Star Patroller, he can move around freely in the Star Sect. After Chen Qingyun came to Xingzong, he found that there were many fewer monks in the sect than before. After asking from a Star Sect monk, I learned that a large number of Star Sect monks had been sent to the front line in advance to begin the task of resisting the Xinghai demon tide. Chen Qingyun secretly unfolded his spiritual consciousness and scanned the Qing sect, discovering the auras of 5 golden elixirs and 4 nascent soul cultivators. One of the 4 nascent soul cultivators is relatively familiar to him, and he is the Hongling ancestor. The second person is the head of the Star Sect. The third person is a supreme elder from the Star Sect. The fourth person is Xingzun, who has always been quick to follow the dragon. Xingzun's real age is over 900 years old. He looks like a heroic and otherworldly middle-aged man. He looks much younger than expected, and he obviously has good looks. With the perception of his spiritual consciousness, Xingzun's strength has reached the middle stage of Yuaning. With the blessing of Tanmei Yuaning, he is enough to rival the monks in the late stage of Yuaning. The 5 elements nascent soul is not inferior to the heavenly meridian nascent soul. No one in the Star Sect can detect Chen Qingyun's spiritual consciousness. At this time, part of the conversation between the 4 Star Masters happened to fall into Chen Qingyun's ears. I only heard the Xingzun say, 3 pieces of Xuaning earth marrow, plus 3 Yining pills, a total of 80% chance of conceiving a baby. You 3 can successfully conceive a baby, which does not disappoint me. I've called you here this time to discuss the upcoming demon tide. Please listen carefully. Upon hearing this, the 3 ancestors of Hongling looked at each other and listened attentively. Xingzun glanced at a few people and continued, this time's Xinghai demon wave, the 3 parties of the Black Dragon Palace will make big moves. We have an appointment with Penglai Immortal Realm. This time the 3 of you will go out with me to resist several demon emperors from the Black Dragon Palace, Demon Ancestor Palace, and Qinshui Palace. As soon as Xingzun finished speaking, the head of Xingzhou guessed this and frowned. My guess is correct, this time they really couldn't hold back and sent stronger demon cultivators. Immediately afterwards, as the leader of a sect, he became worried about the safety of the Star Sect. Grandmaster, all of us nascent souls are dispatched together. If there is no nascent soul cultivator left in this sect, wouldn't this be a loophole for the Demon King to take advantage of? Don't worry, I have my own sense of discretion. Xingzun's temperament and tone of voice were not aggressive at all, and he explained very gently. No matter how arrogant the 3 parties of the Black Dragon Palace are, they will not cross the border and attack Danxing Island. They also need to be wary of each other and will not be as united as they seem on the surface. Our first priority is to hold the front line and repel the Demon King. Then don't be reluctant to fight, don't chase this poor enemy. You also understand the principle of driving a tiger away from the mountain. The leader of Xing sect and the ancestor of Hongling nodded slowly. Currently, they have the spirit treasure in their hands, and they believe that their strength is not inferior to that of mid-stage nascent soul monks. Not to mention killing, but to repel 2 or 3 nascent soul demon emperors, there is still some confidence. Ancestor Hongling asked, we have dispatched 4 nascent souls. What will happen to the Penglai Immortal Realm? Will they also send out nascent soul monks? You guessed it right. Penglai Immortal Territory will send 3 Yuanying monks to deal with most of the demonic forces for us. The next few words were about discussing some combat matters, and Chen Qingyun raised his eyebrows secretly. According to what they want, the 3 parties of the Black Dragon Palace really dispatched the Yuanying Demon Emperor this time. How could these demon cultivators make such big moves this time? Chen Qingyun listened for a while longer, until Xingzun asked the 3 ancestors of Hongling to step back and prepare to set off. Then he took back his consciousness. Ding, Ying Dan, is this also a pill from the immortal cultivation world in mainland China? Recalling Xingzun's first words, Chen Qingyun couldn't help but mutter to himself. With 3 pieces of Xuaning's marrow, there is only a 70% chance of conceiving a baby at most. This allowed all 3 golden elixir monks to successfully conceive babies, which is really surprising when you think about it carefully. The probability of having a baby is too high. Now when I heard the conversation, it turned out that there was Ding Ying Dan to assist. Chapter 885 Three-Headed Dragon. Pulling back his thoughts, Chen Qingyun frowned as he thought of the forces that the Black Dragon Palace, Demon Ancestor Palace, and Qinshui Palace would send this time. There are demon cultivators beyond the Golden Elixir stage participating, so how can those monks from the Golden Elixir, Zaifu, etc. be opponents? I'm afraid it won't be easy for the family to fight this time. After returning to Zhenhai Island, Chen Qingyun informed Chen Xianmin of the news and gave him a reminder in advance. Choosing to withdraw from the war now, whether out of love or obligation, cannot be done. We can only block it with soldiers, cover it with water and earth, and use it as soon as possible. After learning this accurate news, Chen Xianmin looked sad. Our previous conjecture was indeed correct. It is much more difficult to resist the wave of star sea monsters this time than before. Even the nascent soul stage monsters are involved. Chen Qingyun sent a message. No matter which one of the 3 parties in the Black Dragon Palace is enough to shake the Star Sect, once they join forces and dispatch more than a dozen nascent soul demon emperors, it will be a disaster for our Xinghai. Yes. Chen Xianming said. Fortunately, this time when Qingguang returns, he will go out in person. Star Sect will dispatch 3 nascent soul monks, and Penglai Immortal Domain will also have nascent soul monks coming out, which will not put our side at an absolute disadvantage. Qingyun, you are quite powerful, you are fully capable of dealing with those nascent soul demon emperors. When can I break through the nascent soul? Chen Xianming longed for the nascent soul stage, and became more and more aware of the importance of advancing to the nascent soul stage, and couldn't help but sigh. After a few conversations with Chen Xianming formulated some countermeasures. Well, over the years, your grandpa Daoran has learned the art of Tongbao. Fortunately, he has laid the foundation early. Let him take that 5th level puppet with him on this expedition. In the following days, while checking the development status on the island, Chen Qingyun discovered that a small teleportation array had been built on Zhenhai Island. I learned from Chen Qingyun that this teleportation array connects Lingjian Island and Linxai Island. It was built 3 years ago and is the same as the first teleportation array built before. Brother, our family now has 2 sets of teleportation arrays. The 3rd set is also under intensive construction and will be built on the psychedelic island. Chen Qingyun said, by the way, Sister Liu has come at the right time these years. During your retreat, Sister Liu also contributed to the family and refined 2 teleportation orders. The family currently has the ability to build teleportation arrays. As for this teleportation order, Chen Qingyun guessed that it was refined by Liu Zilin. Liu Zilin also came here a moment later. 3 years ago, when you were in seclusion, the clan leader brought a void crystal and entrusted me to refine the teleportation order. This teleportation array is beneficial to the family, so I agreed to refine it. Liu Zilin said with a smile. With the teleportation array, it is very convenient to travel to and from Lingjian Island. The consumption of spiritual stones by a small teleportation array is not high, and it is within the range that the Chen family can operate. What needs to be worried about now is that the method of making this teleportation array can easily arouse the covetousness of the outside world. Because the Zhang family assisted the Chen family in building the teleportation array, they followed suit in the past few years and built a teleportation array in addition to their own clan protecting array. Currently, Zhang Jiazhen is looking for void crystals at high prices, and then invites talisman makers and weapon refiners to work together to refine the teleportation order. Compared with the Chen family, the Zhang family does not have the assistance of powerful people like Chen Qingyun and Liu Zilin, so it is not easy to make a teleportation order. Sea of 10,000 Demons, Demon Ancestral Hall. The 3-headed dragons, the masters of the Demon Ancestral Hall, are on top. There are 3 nascent soul demon emperors in the audience, bowing their heads and reporting the recent news. Your Majesty, the news is not false, according to the accurate information obtained by Mangxi and the others in Xinghai. There are now 3 new nascent soul monks in Xinghai, all from the small star sect. A nascent soul demon emperor holding a long stick-shaped knife reported that this person was Qingguang, the master of Kuish Cave. In front of the 3 dragons, Xiu looked extremely respectful. Even though he held the spiritual treasure in his hand, he still did not dare to have any disobedience and was as obedient as a child. The other 2 nascent soul demon emperors are both cave masters, coming from Red Shark Cave and Thunder Rio Cave respectively. After hearing Qingguang's report, Sanzu Jialongsu narrowed his eyes and just nodded lightly. According to the rules set by the old Loach in the Black Dragon Palace, the 3 of you will lead the team to bulldoze the Sea of Stars this time. Don't let me down. After hearing the words, he was the first to respond, yes. The master of Thunderial Cave also nodded and accepted the order. Only the Red Shark Cave master was a little hesitant. With his straightforward nature, he still couldn't help but speak. Your Majesty, the Star Sect has added 3 new Earthline nascent soul cultivators. In terms of strength, they are almost close to us. Plus the Star Lord, the 3 of us may not be opponents. You don't have to worry about that. There was no hint of joy or anger in the tone of the 3-headed dragon, and he spoke slowly. Qingguang has not reached the stage of becoming a god after all. If it weren't for the support of the people from the mainland, I would have destroyed him long ago. When it came to the mainland, the backer of Xingguang's power, the Red Shark Cave Master said curiously, "Your Majesty, those people on the mainland will not set foot in the inland sea at will, let alone come to our sea of 10,000 monsters. If you take a little action, it will be enough to level the sea of stars. No matter how many nascent soul cultivators a star sect has, even if they are heavenly vein nascent soul cultivators, they are still no match for you." The words of the Red Shark Cave Master caused the two Cave Master Shuang to nod secretly. They had long wanted to completely annex Xinghai, eradicate the Qing sect, and expand their territory. It's just that after each Xinghai monster tide begins, the king will only send a small part of the force to participate, and then join forces with the Black Dragon Palace and the Divine Water Palace to invade the Xinghai. If a few more Yuanying cultivators are sent, or even the king himself goes out, it will be easy to destroy the Qing sect and annex the Xinghai. When the Five Element sect was eradicated, there were demon saints in the god transformation stage who participated. Why should we fight and kill like playing house to deal with the Xinghai? Hearing this, the three-headed dragon said, "During the monster tide, cultivators in the god transformation stage are not allowed to participate in the battle and are not convenient to show up. Otherwise, once this regulation is violated, the group of people behind Xingguang will take action, and then our demon ancestor hall will suffer a devastating blow." As soon as these words came out, the Red Shark Cave Master was speechless. Even the king needs to abide by this regulation and dare not violate it. How powerful must the backers behind Xingguang be? Could there be multiple cultivators in the god transformation stage? Thinking of this, the Red Shark Cave Master quickly shut up and didn't dare to ask any more questions. Not only our Demon Ancestor Palace, but also the Black Dragon Palace, the Divine Water Palace, and the Penglai Immortal Realm are the same. At most, they can only send Yuanying cultivators to participate in the battle. Okay, I've said what I should say, and don't ask what I shouldn't ask. Go and prepare. The three-headed dragon stopped talking and gave orders. Yes. Seeing this, the three cave masters of Shuang didn't dare to say anything more. They responded respectfully and then withdrew together. Chapter 886 Immortal Puppet, Xuanshan Divine Tree. The next month, the first demon cultivator force in the 10,000 Demon Sea, in the Black Dragon Palace. The top demon cultivator in the 10,000 Demon Sea, the ancient Black Dragon, temporarily came out of seclusion, summoned a group of subordinates to start recruiting troops, and sent two nascent soul demon kings to participate in the battle. The Demon Ancestor Palace and the Divine Water Palace have complied with my arrangement and will soon go to the Star Sea. This time, the Star Lord has returned, and there are 3 new nascent soul cultivators. You'd better not act alone. Don't fall into the Star Sect's calculations. A few days later, in the Divine Water Palace, the sky-swallowing giant ape woke up from his slumber, calculated the time, and combined with the report of his subordinates, he also sent out troops. That Black Dragon is really cautious. He has more than a dozen demon kings under his command, but he is only willing to send 2 to make a show. Their intention to guard against the Tongshan Demon Sea and be vigilant against us has not changed at all. They are setting up defenses everywhere. They are even more slippery than those human cultivators. Forget it. There are 2 demon kings in the Black Dragon Palace and 3 in the Demon Ancestor Palace. We will just send 2 this time according to the Black Dragon's request. As for the rest of the demon kings, they will stay to guard the Divine Palace. No one is allowed to leave without my order. Yes. Starry Sea, Zhenhai Island. Chen Qingyun and Chen Xianmin communicated and learned about the situation of the cultivators participating in the expedition. The quota has been filled. Since there are Yuanying demon kings participating this time, Chen Qingyun is ready to participate. If we can hunt 1 or 2 Yuanying monsters, we can obtain the 5th level demon pills and cultivate Biling and 6-winged miasma bees. If we are lucky, It would be good to seize some magic tools. Upon learning that Chen Qingyun wanted to participate, Chen Xianming did not refuse. He registered his name very readily and submitted it to Xingzong when the time came. In the following year, Chen Qingyun immersed himself in reading the classics of the Five Elements sect, which greatly increased his knowledge. In particular, in a book called Five Elements Immortal Strategy, he saw a record of a kind of Xuanchen divine wood, which finally solved a previous doubt. The mysterious black wood that he and Luo Huzi obtained in the spiritual medicine garden of the Five Elements sect ruins finally revealed the answer at this time. This is the Xuanchen divine wood. According to the introduction of this book, Chen Qingyun took out the mysterious black wood, compared it with the description in the book, and a look of realization appeared on his face. The Xuanchen divine wood belongs to the 5th level spiritual wood, which is related to the Xuanchen Lingbao in ancient times. It is a very rare and precious top refining material. In the Five Elements sect, the use of the Xuanchen divine wood is not just as simple as refining the Xuanchen Lingbao. It also has another more important function. That is to refine the fairy puppet and the late Jiandan period. Immortal puppet. This is a kind of puppet from immortal puppet transformation, which needs to be refined with the origin of the Five Elements, the Five Elements crystals and the Xuanchen divine wood. This immortal puppet can perform the magic of the sky and earth, the 3 heads and 6 splits, and can even transform into an ancient beast to fight with the opponent. Just as Chen Qingyun expected, the Five Elements sect's skills can indeed directly refine a powerful 5-element puppet above the Qi refining stage. This immortal puppet has the strength of the late Jiandan stage at the beginning, and can be upgraded and strengthened later to be refined into a 5-element external incarnation. The Xuanchen divine wood is already in hand, and Luo Huzi also has one. Where can I get this 5-element crystal? In the Starry Sea. Chen Qingyun has never heard of any 5-element crystals, and he has not even found them in the ruins of the 5-element sect. This is a problem where to get the 5-element crystals. Continuing to look through this 5 elements immortal strategy, he finally found relevant records, indicating that there are 5-element crystals outside the inner sea. Beyond the inner sea, that's the mainland Zhuxian world. This Star-Lord obtained 3 pieces of Xuanying earth marrow in the mainland Zhuxian world, and now the 5 elements crystal stone is also there. It seems that the mainland Zhuxian world is indeed rich in resources and has outstanding people. Considering that the current Star Sea monster tide is full of dangers and more difficult than the previous one, Chen Qingyun does not plan to leave the inner sea now. There is no need to rush to go to the mainland Zhuxian world. Wait for 2 or 3 years after the conscription and get ready before setting off. The most important thing now is to protect the satellite sea first. As the Star Sea monster tide approaches, it stimulates the consumption of local markets and chambers of commerce. In recent years, due to the increasing number of families and forces of all sizes being summoned, many people have started to buy our horde supplies early, and there are also scalpers among them. This has caused the rapid growth of resource prices in recent years, and prices often fluctuate. Many healing and blood recovery pills have a premium of 30% to 40%, and it is difficult to return to daily prices in a short time. The best-selling magic weapon can be sold at a premium of 50% at the highest, which makes many cultivators buy it while cursing. Xingzong is also unable to control such a surge in prices, and can only let its own chambers of commerce maintain the original price as much as possible. This led to the resources of the 6 chambers of commerce under its control being almost sold out, far underestimating the market demand. In this situation of supply and demand, the major chambers of commerce of Xingzong eventually began to increase their prices by 10% or 20%. Chen Qingyun thought of the Xinghai monster tide 100 years ago, when resources were also overvalued rapidly and there was a buying wave. In particular, the number of cultivators in Xinghai has grown rapidly in the past few decades. The total population of the Chen family alone has increased by more than 100,000 people, and the number of cultivators is several hundred. With such a relatively stable living environment, a large-scale battle will only break out every 100 years, which has made the population growth of Xinghai cultivators tend to be stable. At the same time, some families and powerful independent cultivators also realized that this star sea monster tide might not be simple. They did not dispel their vigilance because of the emergence of 3 Yuan-old monsters in the star sect. This abnormal situation must be a monster. Instead, they became more vigilant and spent all the spiritual stones they could spend on purchasing more equipment to protect themselves. After the monster tide is over, they will sell monster pills and resources to recover. Each star sea monster tide is an excellent trial opportunity for independent cultivators and some small families, and it is also a good way to quickly earn resources. After this, the foundation building pills exchanged from the star sect were not 1,000, but 800. The purple mansion crystals exchanged were even in the double digits. The most typical example is that the Chen family rose in the last star sea monster tide and was promoted to the purple mansion family. On the Chen family side, Chen Qingyun talked with the old patriarch and learned that the family had done 3 main things in the past 18 years. The first is to continue to build the teleportation array and connect the psychedelic island, Yuanzhu Island and other major clans as soon as possible so that they can communicate with each other at any time. The second is that Chen Xianming reached a deal with Grandma Zi to purchase the Linean Holy Spring water from Lingbo Island. The strange thing about this Linean Holy Spring water is that it does not require the union of yin and yang. It is similar to the water of Azimu River and Journey to the West. Drinking a sip can make you pregnant and give birth to a child. Chen Xianming's idea is very simple, which is to accelerate the growth of the family population and give birth to more immortal seedlings. Chapter 887 Family Treasure. These spiritual spring waters are currently mainly circulated among mortals in the family, greatly increasing the birth rate of women. It further solves the problem of high competition among men in the family and the inability to marry a wife, and eliminates the problem of too many men and too few women. The third thing is that in order to prepare for the star sea monster tide, Chen Xianming purchased a lot of equipment 10 years in advance. He also produced some magical weapons, elixirs, and spiritual talismans by himself. These purchasing expenses are all daily prices. Precisely because you plan ahead and buy in advance, there is no situation where you buy at a premium and spend an extra spiritual stone. Speaking of this, Chen Xianming mentioned some recent concerns about the Xinghai Demon Tide and had a heart-to-heart talk with Chen Qingyun. Because the Xinghai Demon Tide was approaching, Liu Zilin also participated in it and decided to go to the meeting point with Chen Qingyun. Lingbo Shan had no objection to this. Time flew by, and 6 months passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, Lu Shengyang visited the Chen family again. Everyone, the demon tide in the Star Sea has arrived. I am here to inform you on the orders of the sect that in 5 months at the latest, your Chen family needs to gather at Hanli Island in the outer Star Sea. Chen Xianming warmly received Lu Shengyang and said, "Fellow Taoist Lu came here specifically to tell you, thank you for your hard work. I, the Chen family, must abide by the arrangement." I wonder what Taoist Lu thinks of this wave of Xinghai monsters? Regarding Chen Xianming's tentative inquiry, Lu Shengyang was an old fox himself. How could he not understand the meaning here? 3 nascent soul monks were suddenly born in Xingzhou, and Xingzhun also returned to Xinghai. It was rumored that they would go on an expedition together. This was definitely not as simple as boosting morale. At present, many monks and various family forces have this speculation, and each has made preparations. This makes the premiums of magic weapons, elixirs, spiritual talismans, etc. on the market even more exaggerated, and it is often necessary to rush to buy first and second level spiritual talismans. Lu Shengyang was a mellow person and did not want to lower his own morale, so he said with a smile, "This wave of monsters in the Sea of Stars that occurs once every 100 years is actually the same thing. It can be said that opportunities and dangers coexist. I think this is capable. If you have spiritual stones, you can prepare more magic weapons and equipment. It would be great to have a variety of means to suppress the situation." In order to stabilize people's hearts and avoid panic, Lu Shengyang did not say anything explicitly, but only gave suggestions. However, Chen Xianming had already received accurate information from Chen Qingyun, and knew that the difficulty of fighting the demon tide this time was far greater than before. At this moment, after hearing what Lu Shengyang said, he immediately understood the meaning of the other person's words. This is a clear message that this wave of star sea monsters is very dangerous. You should prepare more life-saving means and don't worry about the spirit stones. Lu Shengyang still had a mission to attend to, so he stayed for a while before standing up to leave, turning into a stream of light and flying away. Chen Xianming began to summon the family monks and held a meeting to discuss the matter of this campaign. Since it is more difficult to resist, the only way is to upgrade the equipment and increase the strength as much as possible. This is also an experience for the younger generation of monks in the family, and it is a good time to sharpen their minds. After this meeting, everyone quickly formulated countermeasures and decided to distribute some equipment. The next day, Chen Xianming summoned all the monks who participated in the war. They gathered at Lingjian Island in the past few days and will be able to set off for the battle soon. The total number of monks participating this time was 510. After Chen Qingyun, several more monks took the initiative to sign up. On Zhenhai Island, after receiving a summons from the old patriarch, Chen Qingyun called Liu Zilan, King Luan, Qingyun, and Qingguang to ride the teleportation array to Lingjian Island. After the 5 people teleported away, Yu Lingshu appeared above the sea outside Zhenhai Island, watching with interest as the light of the teleportation array gradually faded. At this time, the 5 of them are riding the teleportation array together, presumably to go back to Lingjian Island. Could it be that we are about to start going to the outer star sea to participate in the battle? Chen Qingyun signed up to participate in the recruitment, which naturally could not be hidden from Yu Lingshu. The teleportation array is connected to where it is connected, and it is also clear. Spirit Sword Island. Chen Qingyun and the other 5 met Chen Xianming and learned that they would set off for an expedition in the next few months. They gathered at Hanli Island and waited at the family. 3 days later, all the family monks who participated in the battle had arrived and gathered on Lingjian Island. In recent days, more monks have signed up to participate in the battle. As of today, registration has closed. Chen Xianming called everyone together, took out some magic talismans and elixirs, and said loudly, "What the Star Sea Monster Tide means to our Star Sea cultivators, I won't elaborate on this, you all understand. In 5 months at most, we will gather on Hanli Island in the Alien Sea to officially start this battle against the Demon Tide. You are all warriors of my Chen family. Before the expedition, the family will distribute some equipment resources to you. You must keep them carefully. When it is time to use them, don't hesitate." Chen Xianming began to give instructions. This is a battle abroad, which is no different from going out for training on weekdays. You still have to rely more on yourself for everything, and you must try your best to overcome difficulties by yourself when encountering difficulties. There are many monks among you who are Nian, Xian, Si, and Jin. This battle is an opportunity and a test for you. It is also an opportunity to temper your mind and improve your experience. Strong people cannot be cultivated in a greenhouse. I hope that you will all obtain satisfactory results from this battle, hone your tenacity, and become a lasting mark in your life. After a few polite words, Chen Xianming explained the distribution rules this time. Any monk who signs up to participate in the war this time, the family will provide resources to help. Each Qi refining cultivator will receive 3 second-grade top-grade talismans, 1 Vajra Black Tortoise talisman, and 2 Red Flame Explosion talismans. In addition, 3 bottles of first-grade top-grade elixir rejuvenation pill and small Huanyuan pill, and 1 first-grade top-grade magic weapon Red Shadow Sword. This decision-making supply made many Qi refining cultivators' eyes light up, and they came forward to receive it. A total of 480 Qi refining cultivators, all of whom were at the 6th level of Qi refining and above. Based on these, the foundation building cultivators will upgrade the grade of talismans, elixirs, and magic weapons to the 2nd grade top grade, a total of 25 people. The same is true for Purple Mansion cultivators, a total of 5 people. Chen Qingyun came forward to receive it and received 6 bottles of elixirs, 3 talismans, and a magic weapon, all of which were 3rd grade top grade. As for the golden core cultivators, Chen Qingyun showed his golden core cultivation, and together with Chen Qingyun, they were counted as 2 people. What surprised Chen Qingyun was that although Liu Zilin was going to Hanli Island with him, Lingbao Mountain and Xingzong agreed. But Chen Xianming did not treat Liu Zilin as an outsider, and gave all the equipment given to Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun to Liu Zilin. Fellow Taoist Liu is one of our own family, and I believe you will not have any objections. Naturally, she also has a share. Chen Xianming said with a smile, and personally gave Liu Zilin the same equipment as Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun. Chapter 888 Pre-War Commission, the 4th level best quality Great Return Pill, Blood Melting Pill. 2. Silver Light Heavenly Talisman, 1 8 Directions Holy Armor Talisman, and a 4th level top quality Flying Sword. Chen Qingyun looked at the equipment he had received. This welfare gift from his family was much better than that from other families participating in the war. It is very humane for the family to be able to do this. Liu Zilin didn't expect that she would also gain something and receive equipment as a gift from the Chen family. She once again had a favorable impression of the Chen family and turned to look at Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun smiled and nodded, signaling Liu Zilin to just accept it. Seeing Chen Xianming's behavior, the monks of the Chen family not only said nothing, but also felt that this should have been done long ago. In terms of background and strength, Liu Zilin is definitely someone the Chen family wants to win over, so it is appropriate to provide her with some equipment. Not to mention that she is Chen Qingyun's Taoist companion and is already considered a member of the Chen family. Naturally, the family does not speak the same language. The clan leader is worthy of being the clan leader. He can actually think of this level. If it were me, I would have ignored Senior Liu a long time ago. Chen Qingyun muttered, causing several family monks around him to nod. The family's style was revealed at this moment. After completing the equipment distribution, Chen Xianming mentioned the departure time and other matters. Everyone will set off in 2 months and arrive at Hanli Island in advance. This Cold Carp Island is a famous spiritual island in the Outer Star Sea. It was famous because a group of cold carp spiritual beasts lived in the early days. Later, it was included under the rule of the Star Sect and gradually developed into a strategic island. After the explanation was completed, Chen Xianming said, "In the next 2 months, everyone will have a good rest and recharge their batteries. In 2 months, you will gather here again and set off to Hanli Island together. I will summon you again then." Everyone dispersed and went back to their homes. In the outside world, as more and more families are being recruited, many families have begun to consolidate their own formations and put some of their outside industries on hold. What's more, they will pick and transplant all the resource areas, elixirs, etc. in the Outer Star Sea to avoid mistakes and being harmed by those monsters. This time the Star Sea monster tide has made everyone realize that it is different from the past, and it is very necessary to take precautions in advance. On Yishi Island, a large number of casual cultivators were summoned, and thousands of people signed up to participate on their own initiative. They began to wait patiently for Patriarch Han's orders. Most of the Xifu and Golden Core monks who traveled in the Sea of 10,000 Demons, Sea of Illusions and other places returned to the Sea of Stars to fight against this battle together. At this time, Xinghai is the busiest time. Since the monster tides come from all directions in the Star Sea, this is a severe test for the Guardian of the Star Sea. Fortunately, bound by the agreement and the tacit understanding established over the past few hundred years, the beast tides sent by the 3 parties of the Black Dragon Palace will not move at will and have fixed routes of advance. Led by demon cultivators, these beast tides usually have their own goals and attack frontline islands and battle hubs. They rarely rush directly to the Inner Star Sea quietly, and large-scale battles are carried out in the Outer Star Sea. It is easy for a group of monster beasts to become separated when moving in the vast sea, so they will naturally try to move together as much as possible. During this period, they will also prey on each other and expose their whereabouts. Since we have roughly grasped some locations where the beast tide will attack, The two sides will play a warm-up match first. Xingzong sent out a team of monks early to set up defenses on the front lines of the four major war zones in the east, west, north and south of Xinghai and stockpile combat supplies. The four major sects, Yaoang Mountain, Wuan Island, Lingbao Mountain and Chonglu, also allocated manpower a year ago to cooperate with the Star Sect to garrison the front line. Most of the mortals living around the front line of the Outer Star Sea also temporarily migrated to the Inner Star Sea under the arrangements of the Star Sect and other major sects to avoid being devoured by monsters. These actions are all being carried out in full swing. A large number of spies and dozens of Zling Star Patrollers followed orders to gather information and integrate information in the Sea of 10,000 monsters. Penglai Immortal Territory is currently in close contact with the Star Sect and formulating some battle plans. Most of the army of monsters sent by the three parties of the Black Dragon Palace will flock to the Penglai Immortal Domain. From the perspective of the Star Sect monks, everyone needs to work together to resist the severe test of the demon tide. From the perspective of Penglai Immortal Domain, it is more like the demon beasts taking the initiative to send resources. In the second month before the expedition, Chen Qingyun took the lead in visiting Luohuzi and mentioned the Star Sea Demon Tide. I have heard about this Star Sea Demon Tide. It is said that it happens once every 100 years. It must be that the demon clan in the Black Dragon Palace has reached some kind of agreement with your Xinghai and Penglai Immortal Domain. Good. Then, fellow Taoist Chen is looking for Luo this time. Does he want Luo to follow your Chen family and go to the front line to kill monsters and guard it, or do you have other arrangements? As the guest elder of the Chen family, Luohuzi abides by the rules. If the Chen family asked them to participate in this operation, they would not refuse. Chen Qingyun smiled and shook his head, saying, Elder Luo does not need to participate in this battle. I came to you this time because I want you to take care of the family more in the next 2 or 3 years. Hey, what is my Tao? It's easy to say. Luohuzi agreed readily. Fellow Taoist Chen, you must have participated in the battle this time. Exactly. Hey, you have such strength and are willing to go to the front line to hone your skills and fight. You must be much more diligent than Luo. With such hard work, it's not unreasonable for you to achieve what you have today. After chatting with Luohuzi for a while, Chen Qingyun turned and left. If Luohuzi agrees, it means that Li Shui and Luo Linger will be united and face the outside world in unison. At that time, if the Chen family really encounters any external enemies, these three people will take the initiative to help without Chen Xianming's invitation. At noon that day, Chen Qingyun went to see Wen Xiumin again, and also entrusted her to protect the Chen family. This time, the Xinghai monster tide is fierce and must be more than before. If there is only one giant and cultivator stationed in the family, Chen Xianming, it will be somewhat difficult to handle. Even if the Xingzong will send cultivators to garrison, it is better to keep a hand in advance. Luohuzi, Wen Xiumin and other guest elders will naturally be used well. Wen Xiumin was very straightforward and agreed with a nod. She didn't want to see the Chen family in trouble and lose the position of guest elder, so she was naturally willing to help. As for mother-in-law Zhu, there was no need for Chen Qingyun to greet and entrust her. According to her character, she has been helping the world for hundreds of years. Once she sees the Chen family in trouble, she will take the initiative to stand up and help. When it came to Li Mubing and the other two girls, they informed Chen Xianming in the past few days and prepared to participate in the war. As the giant in power of Xinghai, Xuanbing Island has been on the list of invitations to fight by Xingzong every time, and has never refused. This time is the same. The invitations have been made, and Chen Qingyun has not forgotten to leave a few 4th-level puppets and give them to Chen Xianming for safekeeping. With this kind of defense lineup, Lingjian Island is impregnable as long as there is no Yuanying master to attack. Another month later, the guardian monks sent by Xingzong arrived. Chapter 889. Zhang Lide, heading to Hanli Island. This person's name is Zhang Lide, a monk from the Zhang family on Zhu Island who joined the Star Sect. He is of the same generation as Zhang Wenhuai's father and has the early stage of foundation building. As soon as Zhang Lide sat down, He said to Chen Xianming, Chen Qingyun and others, Uncle King Feng has signed up to participate in the battle. This time I am here to garrison under the order of the sect. I hope you will bear with me and take care of me in the next few years. Every time there is a wave of demons in the Star Sea, among the summoned families and forces, the Star Sect will send a monk to garrison, in order to deter foreign enemies from fighting among themselves at this time. Zhang Lido was not strong, but he represented Xingzong's face. If he dared to attack him during the battle, he would be a slap in Xingzong's face. Chen Xianming smiled slightly and said, "It's a good thing that King Feng can participate in the battle. You each have your own tasks. Essentially, you are working hard to protect the Star Sea. I will help you in the future." In line with his relationship with the Zhang family and showing his family style, Chen Xianming was very polite to Zhang Lid and did not look at anyone through the crack in the door. Zhang Lid stayed in Chen's house temporarily until the end of the war. Time passed and it was time to gather for the expedition. Chen Qingyun, Chen Daoran, Chen Qingyun and others, a total of 512 people gathered together again. After Chen Xianming gave a few words, everyone, watched by Chen Daolan, Chen Qingling and others, took the family spirit ship and set off to fight for the family and the Sea of Stars. Seeing that Chen Qinglun was already following him, Yu Lingshu had been staying near Lingjian Island in the past few months. Little Patriarch is setting off. On this day, she set off quietly, preparing to accompany Chen Qinglun secretly to continue her protection. Palace Master Huanyuan, she reported the recent progress early and informed her master that the young patriarch had participated in the Star Sex campaign. Battles of this level occur occasionally in the Fantasy Sea, but the difference is that the targets are the Shaman tribe. The strength of those sharks far exceeds that of these monsters. They are all capable of spells, can control magic weapons, and have powerful bodies. In Yu Lingshu's opinion, those sharks were more difficult to deal with. During this period of time, all Star Sex teleportation arrays have been opened free of charge, and you can travel freely to and from the inner and outer Star Seas. After everyone arrived at Wuzu Island around Xingzong, they took the teleportation array on the island to teleport to Honk Island in the Aeolian Sea, and then arrived at Hanley Island 3 days later. This Honkarp Island is not at the forefront, but is considered a resource hub, close to the second front. There are currently 2 assembly points in the Eastern Theater, one island Hanley Island and the other is Zhuke Island. Lu Shengyang and Long Taifeng of Xingzong were already guarding here. Seeing Chen Qingyun and his party arriving, Lu Shengyang took the initiative to greet them. According to the intelligence detected on the front line, there are traces of monster beasts gathering outside the sea area more than 300,000 miles away, and those monster beasts have begun to take action. This time you can arrive more than a month early. This time we have more comrades to fight together. Hearing the news of a beast tide, Chen Qingyun took the lead and asked, how many monster beasts can be detected gathering? As soon as they arrived at Hanley Island, before they could sit down and rest, they noticed a gathering of monsters, which alerted Chen Daoran, Chen Qingyun and others. Everyone has been traveling so hard, so you should sit down and rest your feet first. Lu Shengyang noticed everyone's expressions and said, fellow Taoists have already gone to follow up on the wave of monsters detected this time. The front line will take the lead in cleaning up and will not invade Hanley Island. In terms of the number of monsters, there are currently less than 1,000, and they have not yet reached the size of a third-level beast tide. The sect has sent 3 fellow Taoists from Zaifu and a team of 300 people to clean up. They will be wiped out soon. Everyone, please come with me to rest first. During Lu Shengyang's reception, Chen Qingyun and his party began to set up camp here, resting temporarily, waiting for the mission to be issued before taking action. Yu Lingshu was thoughtful, disguised himself as a casual cultivator, followed Chen Qingyun and others on the teleportation array, and then came to the vicinity of Hanley Island. She did not land on the island, but continued to protect Chen Qinglun secretly. What followed was that wherever Chen Qinglun went, she would follow him. If Chen Qinglun knew that he was secretly following a nascent soul cultivator, He would really have no fear of anything when it came to fighting monsters. Regarding Yu Lingshu's arrival, Chen Qingyun, Lu Shengyang and others on the island were entrenched around Hanli Island and had no idea. That day, Chen Qingyun, Chen Daoran, and Chen Qingyun began to pay attention to the monks on the island to see how powerful the monks were at this gathering point. After a little digging, the situation becomes very clear. Currently, there are more than 26,000 monks gathered on Hanli Island, composed of sects, family monks and casual monks. There are a total of 16 cultivating families here. There are 3 Qi refining families, 7 foundation building families, 4 Zaifu families, and 2 Jiandan families. The Chen family is considered one of the Jiandan families, and the other Jiandan family is the Hong family, which comes from the Liaoyan Islands. Most of the remaining casual cultivators have different levels of cultivation, and there are individual Zaifu casual cultivators. In terms of the number of people participating in the battle, Chen Qingyun found out that a total of over 150,000 monks participated this time, which was more than 50,000 monks more than the last time. By the way, there are 5 more nascent soul cultivators. As for the Penglai Immortal Territory, during the conversation with Lu Shengyang, I learned that the number of people dispatched from the Penglai Immortal Territory was basically the same as that from the Xinghai side. The only difference is that the main battlefield of Penglai Fairyland is in the Sea of Thousand Monsters. Some monster groups will be cleared first, and the rest will flow into the Star Sea. After staying in Hanli Island for 2 days, everyone got the War Merit Manual, which recorded the rules of this expedition and the various resources that can be exchanged. The War Merit rules are the same as last time. Killing a first-level monster can get 10 points of War Merit. 100 points for a second-level monster, 1,000 points for a third-level monster, and 10,000 points for a fourth-level monster. There is no record of fifth-level monsters, which obviously exceeds the hunting range of everyone. As expected, if you really kill a 5th-level monster, it will not be as simple as getting 1,000,000 war merits. You will definitely be called the god of war in the Star Sea and be respected by thousands of cultivators. And killing monsters, the war merits of 1st and 2nd-level monsters are not many, which includes the careful consideration of the Star Sect. The reason is that the number of 1st-level monsters is huge, accounting for 80% to 90% of the monster tide in the Star Sea. So there is no shortage of monsters to hunt. The second is to prevent high-level cultivators from participating in killing 1st and 2nd-level monsters and competing with low-level cultivators for resources. Under such regulations, the interests of a large number of low-level cultivators can be protected, and the Purple Mansion cultivators and above can focus on those 3rd and 4th-level monsters. As for the exchangeable resources, the types recorded in the manual are very rich. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 890 Taking Hushan Island. Chen Qingyun carefully read the manual and found that foundation building pills, Purple Mansion crystals, alchemy and equipment inheritance, rare spiritual herbs, etc., can all be exchanged. Compared with the last time, the resources are almost the same. These resources are not very tempting for Chen Qingyun, and he prefers the 5th-level demon pill. Flying boats and spirit ships have arrived at Hanli Island one after another, and the number of cultivators gathered here has gradually approached 30,000. According to this ratio, the number of cultivators in the other 3 war zones is about 40,000 each. The total number of cultivators in a war zone will not exceed 50,000. The lowest will be more than 20,000, which will be divided according to the situation of the war and mobilized at any time. Among these cultivators, Chen Qingyun saw some familiar faces. For example, the Man brothers and sisters of Xingzhou, Hongrai Taoist of Hunyuan Island, Jizun and Jian of Yang Mountain. There are also many cultivators who have fought side by side in Liaoyan Islands and the Southern War Zone. Seeing Chen Qingyun, Jizun, and the Man brothers and sisters here, They all took the initiative to greet each other and exchanged a few polite words. After not seeing each other for many years, Jizun's cultivation has increased significantly and has broken through to the Jiandan stage. This time, as one of the Jiandan cultivators guarding Hanli Island, she, together with Lu Shengyang and Madame Liangxin of Yaoang Mountain, are known as the three major Jiandan of Hanli Island. Among them, Lu Shengyang is responsible for arranging tasks and dispatching. Madame Liangxin manages the distribution and transportation of materials. Jizun is responsible for the exchange of various resources. The largest exchange location in the southern theater is on Hanli Island. This place was temporarily established by Xingzong, and a lot of elixirs, magic tools, talismans and other combat resources were stored here, which is convenient for cultivators to exchange at any time. Most of the elixir materials come from Yaoang Mountain. There are 3 Xingzong deacons to help manage other types of materials and assist Jizun. After resting on the island for more than a month, the battle officially began. The Chen family received their first mission and were assigned to the second front to attack a spiritual island. Lu Shengyang personally came forward and explained the mission to Chen Qingyun. Behind the second front, there is a spiritual island, Hushan Island. From a geographical point of view, it is very suitable to be established as a strategic hub to provide material transportation for the front, so let's take this island first. There is currently a group of level 3 monsters on Hushan Island, with a number of about 1,700 or 1,800. This mission is relatively easy for you, just in time for a good start. Due to the existence of Chen Qingyun, Lu Shengyang attached great importance to the Chen family. He personally explained the mission and gave a detailed mission map. Chen Daoran asked, how many foundation building monsters are there in the level 3 beast tide? 13. The scale of the beast tide is currently divided into 3 types. The lowest is the level 3 beast tide, which consists of 1,000 monsters, without a purple mansion monster leading. The level 2 beast tide consists of more than 5,000 monsters, with at least 1 purple mansion monster in the list. The first level beast tide means there are more than 10,000 monsters, among which there are golden elixir monster kings, which are relatively rare. Dealing with this third level beast tide is very easy for Chen Qingyun and others. For this mission, Lu Shengyang also dispatched 50 independent cultivators and a small immortal cultivation family to participate. This small family is called the Land Family of Blue Lake Island. It is a foundation building family. It sent 16 cultivators, led by the clan leader Lan Zhouan. Lan Zhouan is a little old man with a white beard, short and thin, with a smile on his face all the time. This person has a very gentle temperament. He is the type who does not take the initiative to offend people and leaves a good impression on people. When the Land family learned that they were assigned to fight against a third-level beast group, they were shocked at first. They thought they still lacked some strength and thought it was a mission to die. After learning that the Chen family of Lingjian Island was leading the team and an elder from Lingbao Mountain was also traveling with them, they immediately dispelled their concerns and were very grateful. The reputation of Lingjian Island has long spread to the outer sea, and it is known as the top family in the Star Sea. What strength does the Chen family have? A level 3 beast tide? It's like a piece of cake to destroy a level 2 beast tide. As for the reward for this mission, the deadline is 1 month, and each person can get 600 points of war merit after completion. The monster resources and monster pills obtained can be handled freely and do not need to be handed in. After the team was formed, all members of the Chen family went out, including Lu Yuzilin. Under the leadership of Chen Qingyun, everyone set off towards Hushan Island on a Xingzong warship. 5 days later, an island appeared in the vast sea not far away. On the island sat a huge mountain that looked like a yellow-green kettle with a rather peculiar shape. This is Hushan Island. The origin of the name of the island comes from this kettle-shaped mountain, which is a landmark. Chen Qingyun, Chen Daoran and others opened their spiritual consciousness and swept across the island, exploring the situation on the island clearly. Liu Zilin was the first to withdraw her consciousness and said to Chen Qingyun, "There is a slight discrepancy with the information. There is one more foundation building monster, so now there are a total of 14 monsters. The remaining first-level monsters are 1,788. When Lan Zhouwen heard the number of monsters on the island, he was delighted. He did not dare to interrupt at this time and waited for Chen Qingyun's response. "Well, it is just as Lu Shengyang said," Chen Qingyun said quite relaxedly. "The strength of this group of monsters is not strong. These are appetizers. Just attack and take them down." "My dear nephew Qingyun, Senior Liu, you don't need to take action. It is enough for us to deal with them." Qingyun's suggestion is okay. Chen Daoran nodded. Chen Qingyun was just here to play soy sauce, and his target was not these low-level monsters. He nodded and said, "Go." "Haha, good." Chen Qingyun laughed and looked at Lan Zhouwen. "Patriarch Lan, come with me to Hushan Island?" "Good." Lan Zhouwen didn't dare to refuse. The group organized themselves briefly, and before the warships docked, they launched an offensive and chose to drive straight into Hushan Island. At the beginning of the battle, the monsters on the island were quickly surrounded and trapped. They were cleared out in less than an hour. Of the 14 foundation building monsters, the Chen family took 10. Of the other 4, 1 was killed by Lan Zhouwen, and 3 were killed by 5 foundation building casual cultivators. Those first-level monsters were purely used as whetstones. In less than an hour, the first battle was a victory, and the mission was completed. Everyone stayed on the island to rest and clean up the battlefield. There were no casualties in this battle, and the progress was very smooth. Chen Daoran reported the progress of the mission, and Lu Shengyang quickly sent a cultivator to check and pass the progress of this completion. 600 battle merits were obtained at once, and the demon pills in hand could also be exchanged for battle merits. Lan Zhouwen and other Lan family cultivators were very happy. Those scattered cultivators were also very happy, and they felt that it was good to have the Chen family to accompany them, and they easily completed this first mission. Chapter 891, Phantom Sword Golden Light Formation, Nangong Yuang. After completing the task quickly, everyone began to rest on the island and wait for the next instructions. 5 days later, the monk sent by Xingzong arrived. The monk from Xingzong was named Li Zai, and he brought the next task. After successfully taking Hushan Island, Xingzong planned to build a small construction here and build it into a strategic hub to store supplies and serve as a backup warehouse for the second front. The second task was to assist Xingzong in construction while stationing on Hushan Island. The progress of this task was 5 months, and it was necessary to station here for 5 months. After completion, 900 military merits could be obtained. A few days later, Xingzong sent 30 monks and 3 large warships to transport a group of supplies and building materials to the island. On this Hushan Island, everyone divided the work and started construction. As it was a strategic hub, it was necessary to use it for a long time, so it was necessary to arrange a formation. Here, a formation was also required. This formation was called the Phantom Sword Golden Light Formation, which reached the 3rd grade upper grade. Chen Qingyun understood the art of formations. When he observed the arrangement of the Xingzong monks, he took in the various principles of the formation and learned a lot of knowledge. In less than 3 days, the formation was established, sheltering most of Hushan Island. At this time, various warehouses, attics, watchtowers and other buildings rose from the ground one after another. After more than a month of garrison, the Lan family discovered traces of monsters hundreds of miles away from the island. During this investigation, more than 3,600 monsters attacked quietly and headed straight for Hushan Island. The leader was a 3rd-level middle-grade tiger shark monster. Chen Daoran, Chen Qingyun, Lan Zhouwen and others quickly set out and used thunder attacks to wipe out the monster group in less than 2 hours, and captured a large number of monster resources. Later, in the 4th month of garrison, 2 3rd-level beast tides launched a night attack at the same time, and the battle started again. Everyone reacted quickly and started a fierce fight with the monsters. Various magic weapons, talismans, and spells were used one after another. The Phantom Sword Golden Light Array was activated, and the power of the array was like a rolling torrent. In the blink of an eye, thousands of golden phantom swords were released from the array, turning into golden rays of light, and the attack direction covered the surrounding area of 100 miles, densely stabbing at the beast tide. The golden light between heaven and earth rose sharply, reflecting a golden color. A large number of monsters were pierced by the phantom swords, and large areas of corpses floated on the sea, and the sea surface was dyed red. This battle also ended quickly, and all the monsters were killed. For a period of time afterwards, there were no monsters attacking. Chen Qingyun's team completed the garrison and returned to Hanli Island for rest as arranged, and each received 900 war merits. After completing 2 tasks in a row, the next is a 3-month rest period. Some Chen family cultivators began to register their war merits and exchange some magic weapons, elixirs and other resources on the island. A small number of qi refining and foundation building cultivators exchanged for pills to increase their cultivation and began to choose to retreat. At this time, most of the cultivators on Hanli Island were dispatched to perform various tasks, and new teams were still assigned here. During this period, Chen Qingyun saw Nangang Yuang. After not seeing him for many years, Nangang Yuang's strength has not improved significantly, and he still maintains the peak of the Purple Mansion. This so-called First Purple Mansion in Xinghai is always surrounded by followers, and he is eye-catching wherever he goes. However, after seeing Chen Qingyun, Nangang Yuang chose to retreat, full of fear in his heart. Last time in the retreating Immortal Palace, Chen Qingyun was only at the same level as me. Now I see him again after decades, and his cultivation has reached the peak of the Golden Core stage. What exactly is hidden in this Chen family? How can there be such rich resources to cultivate a junior to this level now? Nangang Yuang was secretly moved. When he looked at Chen Qingyun from a distance, he immediately withdrew his gaze and did not dare to look directly at him. This action was seen by some followers around, who immediately caught Nangang Yuang's strangeness and looked at Chen Qingyun again. After remembering Chen Qingyun's appearance, they asked about it in the next few days and immediately understood why Nangang Yuang was afraid. The 3 months of rest passed in a flash, and soon the third mission was issued. This time, the Chen family was selected to cooperate with the monks of Yaoang Mountain and go to Blue Moon Island for support. Blue Moon Island is a strategic island on the first front. There are 15 such islands in the Eastern Theater. 5 days ago, 3 level 2 beast tides attacked Blue Moon Island from the east and south. There was a team of 1,000 people stationed on the island, with 3 Purple Mansion monks. Such a force was not enough to fight against 2 level 2 beast tides at the same time, and they were quickly defeated. Blue Moon Island was almost occupied, and the buildings and facilities on the island were severely damaged. Now it has become a place where monsters are entrenched. The mission this time was to retake Blue Moon Island and eliminate the remaining more than 6,000 first and second level monsters and 5 Purple Mansion monsters. Chen Qingyun and Liu Zilin were temporarily stationed on Hanli Island for 2 months because of their strong strength. Jizun and Madame Liangxin were sent to Yaoang Mountain to transport a batch of elixir supplies to the first front line, which was estimated to take about 2 months. The rest of the Chen family cultivators, including Chen Daoran and Chen Qingyun, were all dispatched, and formed a team with the 6 Purple Mansion cultivators and 300 foundation building cultivators from Yaoang Mountain, and headed towards Blue Moon Island. Led by Chen Qingyun, and with masters of the Purple Mansion such as Chen Daoran and Chen Qingyun, they cleared out all the monsters on the island in less than a day after landing on Blue Moon Island. In the next few days, they began to receive new tasks and began to rebuild Blue Moon Island in conjunction with Yaoang Mountain. Time flies. Chen Qingyun also completed the garrison mission, handed over to Jizun, and was sent to the first front line to resist the first-level beast tide on Firefly Island. In this way, in the following 2 months, Chen Qingyun showed his skills on the first front line, beheaded 2 giant and demon kings in a row, and established a great majesty. Among the 2 demon kings, there was a giant and mermaid witch. This battle allowed Chen Qingyun to obtain a lot of magic weapons. At this time, a year had passed since the battle. Chen Qingyun, Chen Daoran, and Chen Qingfeng were basically in a team, leading the family monks to fight in various places, tracking the traces of the beast tide, and actively attacking and clearing them, earning a lot of military merits and demon pills. Chen Qingyun and Lai Liuzilin, as giant and cultivators, were dispatched to the first front to participate in the battle, just like Chen Qingyun, and are currently stationed on Red Dragon Island. Chen Qingyun received a new mission and began to station on Yanwu Island, where there is a teleportation array, which is the most important strategic base on the first front. On Yanwu Island, a 4th-level top-grade Yanwu star array was deployed, and the resource supply of the surrounding 15 spiritual islands basically came from Yanwu Island. There were 3 giant and cultivators stationed with Chen Qingyun. Chapter 892 Lilac Fairy. Among the golden elixir monks stationed on Yanwu Island with Chen Qingyun, one is a golden elixir monk from Yaoang Mountain named Lilac Fairy, who has a late-stage golden elixir cultivation. This girl looks particularly graceful and charming, like a colorful flower, which is pleasing to the eye. Lilac Fairy. The other 2 people were Zhu and Liang, 2 old men from the Xing sect. This mission is a 4-month garrison period to guard this spiritual island and boost the morale of the monks on the front line. When they arrived at Yanwu Island, Chen Qingyun and Lilac Fairy met and got to know each other. Fairy Lilac seemed to be very smart and lively. She was very interested in Chen Qingyun and looked at Chen Qingyun several times without hesitation. I have heard of fellow Taoist Chen for a long time. In recent days, I have often heard my brother mention fellow Taoist Chen and praise you very much. When I saw you today, I saw that fellow Taoist Chen is really extraordinary. She greeted him with a slight smile, looking very enthusiastic, and started chatting with Chen Qingyun. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun didn't know much about the Lilac Fairy, so he asked politely, "Who is the fairy's brother?" Fairy Lilac smiled sweetly, lowered her attitude and responded, "My brother is a Taoist from Mu. Mu, Taoist." After a simple conversation, Chen Qingyun learned that Fairy Lilac was the cousin of Taoist Mu. She was the 5th elder of Yaoang Mountain and mainly practiced wood attribute skills. The 2 ancestors Zhu and Liang looked at Chen Qingyun with a faint smile, and Lilac Fairy talked with each other without interrupting for the time being. Lilac Fairy took the initiative to find a topic and chatted for a few words. She realized that she was too enthusiastic and was afraid that the 2 ancestors next to her might misunderstand something and provoke Liuzilin. So she then changed the subject and said, "During this 4-month mission, I have to thank you Taoist fellow Chen. The 2 seniors have taken more care of me." This senior's voice was naturally talking about Zhu and Liang. The 2 ancestors heard it out of respect for the 2 elders. "Well, we are in the same boat now, so we naturally have to support each other." "Fairy, you're welcome." Patriarch Liang chuckled and said politely. He didn't pay much attention to Lilac Fairy and focused his eyes on Chen Qingyun. Elder Liang was secretly surprised when he sensed that Chen Qingyun's cultivation level showed the aura of the peak of the golden core stage. He showed a look of praise and said, "We said goodbye last time in the reclusive world Immortal Mansion, but we haven't seen each other for decades. I didn't expect that fellow Taoist Chen has made such rapid progress. It's like the waves behind you in the Yangtze River push the waves ahead. Just in terms of this cultivation level, it has surpassed me. No wonder Lilac Fairy also admires you very much." Patriarch Zhu's eyes did not move away, also falling on Chen Qingyun. The beautiful Lilac Fairy beside him did not attract the attention of the 2 of them at all. Escape from the Immortal Mansion. Hearing this, Lilac Fairy murmured secretly, and a look of surprise flashed across her face. The monks who can obtain the Jade Medal of the Immortal Mansion and participate in the retreat from the Immortal Mansion are not simple roles. When I was still in the Purple Mansion stage, I had no chance to participate in the experience of the Immortal Mansion. This Chen Qingyun actually has this ability. Thinking back to the last time the Escape World Immortal Mansion was opened, it was less than 100 years ago. Being able to be promoted to the peak of the Golden Core stage in such a short period of time is really staggering. This made Lilac Fairy's eyes sparkle, and she felt that Chen Qingyun's future achievements might be able to condense the nascent soul. No wonder my brother keeps telling me that if I meet Chen Qingyun on the front line in the future, I must make good friends with him. If they can go a step further and create some sparks and feelings between each other, That's not impossible. Chen Qingyun has long been accustomed to the praises of Patriarch Liang. He has heard too many such words, so he just smiled lightly. The four of them briefly communicated for a while, discussed the task, and then returned to the camp. When Chen Qingyun walked away, Patriarch Zhu showed a solemn look and looked at Patriarch Liang. "What, can you see?" Patriarch Liang pondered for a while, then shook his head uncertainly. "The cultivation he showed is at the peak of the golden core stage, but I just used King Sutansun to inquire about it, and found that his cultivation seems to have restrained, and it is not as simple as it seems on the surface." "Oh?" When Patriarch Zhu heard this, a look of surprise appeared on his face, and he immediately looked at Chen Qingyun's retreating figure again. This king's celestial vision, which Patriarch Liang has cultivated in the past 10 years, can see through the hidden cultivation levels of monks of the same level, disguise himself, and identify monsters that have transformed into humans. It can be called a piercing eye. But in front of Chen Qingyun, Patriarch Liang couldn't figure out the opponent's level of cultivation, which was very wrong. "I've thought about it." At this time, Patriarch Liang said earnestly, "The truth may be as we suspected. This child may have condensed the 5 elements nascent soul and reached the step we most expected." These words made old ancestor Zhu's eyes suddenly light up, and some waves arose in his usually calm and calm heart. "Well, okay. If this is true, it will be a great good thing for the two of us. The opportunity to break through the nascent soul stage is right in front of us." When Patriarch Liang heard this, he sighed slightly and said, "It's hard to say whether there is a chance for a breakthrough. It depends on whether he is willing to assist us. People die for money and birds die for food. If you want him to help, you just have to offer some benefits to impress him. The interests that can impress a nascent soul cultivator." Patriarch Liang murmured to himself, as if he was asking a rhetorical question. Both of them fell into deep contemplation and decided to continue to pay attention to Chen Qingyun's movements for a period of time in the future. Chen Qingyun was unaware of the conversation between the two ancestors Zhu and Liang, and began to fulfill his mission and stationed on Yanwu Island. Yanwu Island is located in the first front line and is a strategic throat. It is often attacked by beast tides. After coming here, Chen Qingyun will naturally not be idle. He will release some clones and puppets from time to time to secretly clear out some monsters. The number of monsters in the surrounding area exceeds that of the second front line, and more resources can be obtained. Not only Chen Qingyun, some Purple Mansion monks on the island also participated in the wild action and took the initiative to clear out the monsters. In the first 2 months of the garrison, 3 first-level beast tides attacked. Chen Qingyun discovered it early and secretly dispatched several golden elixir clones to clean up these 3 monster teams without anyone noticing. In the 3rd month, the pressure was put on Yanwu Island. A large number of beast tides came one after another, and the battles began to become more frequent. Chen Qingyun, Fairy Dinxian and others began to get busy, focusing on clearing out a leading giant and monster and several powerful Zaifu monsters. Most of the remaining first and second level monsters notified the rear front to prepare for the confrontation in advance, which was also a way for the Taoist friends in the rear to share a piece of the pie. Chapter 893, Demon King's Conspiracy. Evil Ambition. The purpose of the first front's existence is mainly to count the number of monsters coming from the sea of 10,000 monsters and formulate combat plans in real time. Those individual powerful monsters were cleared out first, leaving some shrimp soldiers and crab generals, and then the monks on the second front were asked to work together to clean up. Golden elixir monks are not willing to do things like using cannons to kill mosquitoes. They prefer to kill monsters of the same level. Occasionally, a few purple monsters will add to the fun and get used to the flying swords. The most important thing for the giant and monks on the front line is to retain their peak strength at all times in order to fight against the giant and demon king. Chen Qingyun secretly attacked some evil shark monsters this time, but what he was interested in was actually the opponent's magic weapon. Those demon pills are also cultivation resources for the family. The 4th month of being stationed on Yanwu Island. In the sea of 10,000 monsters, the Red Shark Cave Master, the Thunder Eel Cave Master, and the Kuish Cave Master Qingguang were gathering together to discuss the plan for this time. The Lord of Thunder Eel Cave took the form of a big man in purple clothes. He looked broad-shouldered and majestic. He looked in the direction of the Sea of Stars and smiled maliciously. After a year of fighting, those little guys have probably swarmed into the Star Sea. Now it's our turn to add fuel to the fire and give those Star Sea monks some pain. Hearing this, the Red Shark Cave Master licked his lips and said, "The human race and the demon race have always been mortal enemies. The human race kills the demons to get the elixir, and the demon race kills the demon race to prove the truth. The king asked us to participate this time, but he did not give clear instructions for action. I think it is better to choose Xinghai sect to operate first this time and give them some color." Shuang said, "It's just what I want. Which sect do you want to join?" The Red Shark Cave Master had a clear goal and said, "The 5 major sects of Xinghai. Xingzong is too far away, and the king also told us not to set foot there, but the other 4 sects have no binding force on us. I think Yaoang Mountain is the closest to us, so why not choose this one? What if we don't take advantage of the opportunity to get some benefits when we go out of the mountain this time? I heard that there are a lot of good things in the Medicine King Mountain, including all kinds of precious elixirs." When Shun and Thunder Eel Cave Master heard this suggestion from the Red Shark Cave Master, they immediately agreed. Considering that there are nascent soul cultivators in Xinghai, Shuang said, "According to the intelligence, the 4 major nascent soul cultivators in Xinghai are stationed in the 4 major war zones of East, West, North and South. The Star Master is in the south, the Supreme Elder is in the north, and the Hongling Ancestor is in the west. This is the leader of the Star Sect who is guarding the eastern war zone. The leader of the Star Sect is active around Yaoang Mountain. Since we want to eliminate Yaoang Mountain, for the sake of safety, we should first find a way to lure the opponent away so that we can take action. When nascent soul cultivators of the same level fight, it is almost difficult to kill each other. Once one of them uses nascent soul teleportation and escapes in time, it is generally difficult to catch up. The 4 great nascent souls of Xingzun were stationed in the 4 major battle zones in order to defend these 4 fortresses and prevent any of them from being breached. As for worrying about being surrounded and killed by several nascent soul demon emperors and damaging a human nascent soul, the chance is very small. Qingzun acted cautiously and had already taken precautions. He gave each of the 3 ancestors of Hongling a Tangang Xuanjia talisman. This talisman has reached the 5th level and can be used to easily withstand the attacks of late nascent soul monks. It's easy to divert the Star Sect leader away. The Red Shark Cave Master chuckled, looking like he had a winning chance. As soon as Shuang heard this, he immediately asked, "If you have any good strategies, please tell me." The Red Shark Cave Master snorted coldly and said slowly, "Those human monks are not the only ones who can use the trick to lure the tiger away from the mountain. We can also learn it." "How about this?" In order to successfully lure away the leader of the Star Sect, Liao and I took action together. We wandered around their first front line, destroying several of their islands from time to time and making some big noises. In this way, we can attract the attention of the leader of the Star Sect. I don't believe that he will be indifferent and not care about the life or death of those monks. When you successfully lure him away, at this time, you can lead a group of people directly across the Qingliu Sea and into Yaoang Mountain. Hey, no matter how strong the sect protecting formation in Yaoang Mountain is, it can be broken in no more than an hour without the guards of nascent soul cultivators. Not to mention that you still have a 5th level formation breaking bed in your hand. Why do you have to keep this thing as a treasure? It's time to take it out and show it off. As long as we lure away the leader of the Qing sect, we will not be allowed to act next. The people of the Xingzong will be millions of miles away and will not be able to rush to the Yaoang Mountain for rescue. The Yaoang Mountain is not ours. This countermeasure of Red Shark Cave Master made Liao, the Thunder Eel Cave Master, nod. "Okay, just do as you say." Nashuang was still a little worried and said, "That Xingzun is not simple. I'm afraid he is prepared. Maybe he is secretly operating around Yaoang Mountain and trying every means to plot against us. HMPH. No matter how powerful Xingzun is, he is not a three-headed man with 6 arms. Besides, he has been restrained by the 2 demon kings of the Black Dragon Palace recently and will not leave the southern war zone easily. The more time it takes, the easier it will be for us to take action. The Red Shark Cave Master said, "Don't destroy your own prestige at this time. Don't forget that we are not the only ones who choose to take action now. There are also the demon emperors from the Black Dragon Palace and Shinshui Palace who are giving them a headache, which is enough for them to drink a pot." After the 3 demons discussed it, they began to collect intelligence and found out that the leader of the Star Sect was currently stationed on Qingguang Island. Qingguang Island is a small island in the easternmost part of the First Front. There is also a teleportation array on the island, which is an important strategic island. From a geographical point of view, it is less than 100 miles away from the Sea of Thousand Monsters. Behind Qingguang Island is the Liaoyan Islands, the largest archipelago in the Outer Star Sea. The 3 demons of the Red Shark Cave Lord discussed a countermeasure and asked Liao and the Red Shark Cave Lord to lead the troops to enter the First Front to wreak havoc, destroy the Spirit Island as much as possible, and create a big commotion to attract the attention of the Star Sect Master. In this way, even if the Star Sect Master did not resist, he would choose to drive straight in, destroy the major strategic islands, and suppress the morale of the Starsea monks. No matter what effect is achieved in the end, many Starsea monks can be killed. On the other hand, Shuang quietly lurked at the junction of the Starsea and the Sea of Thousand Monsters, waiting for an opportunity. More than 10 days later, on Yanwu Island, Chen Qingyun has been paying attention to the battle situation of all parties and the activities of the family. In recent months, the Chen family has been like a fish in water, successfully completing several tasks one after another, and obtaining a lot of military merits and monster resources. In recent days, the Chen family has been mainly active on the second front line, carrying out some tasks of tracking monster groups and clearing them out. Everything is normal on the family side, and Chen Qingyun's tasks are also free. It was not until more than half a month later that one day, a battle report came from the front, which alarmed Chen Qingyun, Fairy Dinxian and several other giant and cultivators. Chapter 894, Demon King Rebellion. The battle report that alarmed Chen Qingyun, Zhu Laozu and others was that an island on the front line had fallen. The island was called Bain Island, located in the northeast of Liaoyan Islands, and was an important island on the first front. On Bain Island, there was a giant and cultivator, 18 Zaifu cultivators, and more than 800 cultivators stationed. Among them, this giant and cultivator was an elder of Wuan Island, named Tanquin Zenren, with the strength of the middle giant and stage. In addition to the Suzaku Divine Fire formation on the island, there were 18 Zaifu cultivators who could control the formation, which was enough to deal with 3 giant and monster kings at the same time. Such a force was enough to easily destroy the second and third level beast tides. And it was also easy to fight a first level beast tide. But this time, the opponent not only had 3 giant and monster kings and more than 8,000 monsters, but also a Yuanying monster king hiding among them. Facing an opponent of the level of Yuanying monster king, the Xinghai cultivators could not detect the existence of the opponent and were completely controlled by the opponent. So when the beast tide came, they mistakenly thought it was just an ordinary third level beast tide. This giant and cultivator fought against the Yuanying demon king. Even if there was a 4th level formation to help, it would not work. It was not a duel of the same level. The result of this battle can be imagined. The cultivators on Bain Island were almost wiped out. Only a few people escaped by chance and reported the news. The opponent dispatched the Yuanying demon king, causing Wuan Island to lose a giant and cultivator and hundreds of cultivators to die. This stimulated Wuan Island. Xingzong was even more furious, and immediately sent cultivators nearby to form a defense line to prevent these monsters from continuing to pour in. After destroying Bain Island, this beast tide continued to march straight in and killed into several other spiritual islands around it. wreaking havoc with great momentum. Even though Xingzong acted quickly and formed a temporary defense line, it was easily broken by the opponent's Yuanying Demon King, and hundreds of people were lost again. This battle was fought continuously, and it was no longer just a matter of equal strength. This alarmed the nearby Xingzong sect master. Behind Bain Island is the second front line. How can the cultivators stationed there be a match for the Yuanying Demon King? Not good. No matter what tricks the Demon King has played, we must go to support him. Since the other three Yuanying cultivators were far away from Bain Island, in order to minimize losses as much as possible and prevent the rear battlefields from continuing to fall, the Xingzong sect master had to confront them even if he was worried that the other party was luring the tiger away from the mountain. Not long after, the Xingzong sect master rushed over 100,000 miles alone based on the latest intelligence, found the Yuanying Demon King, and a fierce battle broke out. According to intelligence, this Yuanying Demon King came from the Red Shark Cave of the Demon Ancestor Hall and had the cultivation level of the middle stage of the Yuanying. Strangely enough, after seeing the Xingzong sect master, this demon did not want to fight, and chose to escape after a few rounds of fighting. The Red Shark Cave Master is a 5th level middle-grade red-spotted demon shark, a king of the water, known for its speed and ferocity. In the water, cultivators of the same level cannot gain an advantage over such demon beasts in terms of speed. Adhering to the principle of not chasing after an enemy who is desperate, the Star Sect Master did not pursue him easily for fear of unexpected changes. This Yuanying Demon King can escape, but the remaining demon beasts cannot. The Star Sect Master began to vent his anger on other demon beasts, beheading 2 giant demon kings and more than 30 purple mansion demon beasts. The remaining more than 3,000 demon beasts were killed in an instant, and their corpses floated on the sea, dyeing the sea area red. This 3rd level beast tide was cleared out by the Star Sect Master in one fell swoop. The news that the Red Shark Cave Master escaped was quickly spread, causing everyone to speculate whether there was something fishy. Or it was simply because the Star Sect Master was so powerful that he beat the Red Shark Cave Master away. For these two guesses, more people prefer to think that it is the latter, and that the Red Shark Cave Master is defeated. After fighting for a year, these Yuanying Demon Kings finally couldn't hold back. It's a pity for Bain Island. Red Shark Cave Master, this is the force under the Demon Ancestor Hall, which is second only to the Kua Snake Cave, and it is the demon cultivators of the Demon Ancestor Hall who are causing trouble. Chen Qingyun frowned slightly. Fortunately, the family cultivators have not been on missions near Bain Island recently, otherwise they would also become blood food for monsters. The big fish has appeared and started to stir up trouble. Chen Qingyun decided to take action this time to kill 1 or 2 Yuanying Demon Kings, and this Taoist friend who died in the battle should also have an explanation. While Chen Qingyun continued to pay attention to the battle situation, he was ready to keep an eye on the movements of the Red Shark Cave Master, or other Demon Kings appeared. At this time, another urgent battle report came. On the day when the Red Shark Cave Master just escaped, the Thunder Eel Cave Master Liao also took action, leading several giant and demon kings to start stirring up trouble around Zhuxiantu Island and the Eastern War Zone. In just half a day, Liao's group of monsters destroyed Zhuxiantu Island, destroyed the teleportation array on the island, and killed a giant and cultivator from Chonglu. Of the more than 900 cultivators stationed on Zhuxiantu Island, only 3 escaped. Suddenly, 2 Yuanying Demon Kings appeared and led their troops to the front line, which made Lu Shengyang, Jizun and others furious. The Eastern War Zone is huge, with a total of 20 strategic islands. On average, the number of garrisons assigned to each island is maintained at around 1,300 to 1,400. As 2 bases, Zhuge Island and Hanli Island often have 3,000 to 4,000 cultivators staying to rest, and they have to guard against the attacks of the beast tide. If calculated in this way, the defense capacity of a spiritual island alone cannot withstand the attacks of the Yuanying Demon King. The Lord of the Red Shark Cave and Liao were very cunning. They showed up at the first front and then sneaked in secret. When they arrived at the place, they attacked with thunder, destroyed the island and turned around and left. Whether it was relying on their own strength advantage, sneaking in the sea, and avoiding the detection of the Xinghai monks. Or doing this kind of surprise attack, even if there were many Jinan monks guarding the attacked island, it was still a mantis trying to stop a chariot. So in just one day, several islands fell, more than 3,000 monks died in the battle, and 4 Jinan monks were lost, resulting in such a tragic result. On Chen Qingyun's side, even if he learned the news now, it would be too late to rush over to support. At this time, the 2 demon kings had already escaped into the sea and disappeared. Why? Is there another demon king? It's too much. The appearance of Liao immediately aroused the anger of the Xingzong sect master. He felt that the surrounding wars were getting tight, and it would be difficult to have free time in the next period of time. He had to continue to deal with this Yuanying demon king. In order to prevent the 3rd demon king from causing trouble and severely damage the front line defense again. After repeated consideration, the leader of Xingzong could only sacrifice the pawns to save the king and guard the most important Suzaku Island. He also withdrew some core monks outside to Suzaku Island, transferred some important strategic materials, and arranged more sentries to find out the traces of these nascent soul demon kings. Chapter 895 Yaoang Mountain Falls. Just relying on the head of the Star Sect, he has no skills at all. It is impossible to tear down the east wall to repair the west wall, lest the 2 nascent soul demon emperors sneak around like dogs. On the 2nd day, when the leader of the Star Sect guarded Suzaku Island, Shun, who had been lurking in secret, waited for the opportunity and took action. This old cunning guy from Xingzong is not stupid. He also knows how to retreat to the defensive line and stay on Suzaku Island. I originally wanted to play tricks on this person for a while to consume some energy, but now this person wants to focus on stability. In this case, I will go straight to Yaoang Mountain. Shuang was well prepared, and that day he took the 6 organized Golden Core Demon Kings, more than 100 Zaifu Demon Beasts, and more than 3,000 first and second level Demon Beasts to sneak into the deep sea. The sea is vast and boundless, with the deepest point reaching more than 10,000 meters. The bottom of the sea is so invisible that it is a paradise for demon cultivators. Shuang and the monster beasts, relying on the cover of some monster cultivators in the surroundings, quickly crossed the Qingliu Sea, arrived at Yaoang Mountain, and suddenly launched a sneak attack. Yaoang Mountain sent 5 Jinan monks to participate in the battle, and there were 2 left in the sect, and there were also Star Sect monks guarding here. This Star Sect monk was named Xiangzishi, and he was in the middle stage of foundation building. When he discovered that Yaoang Mountain was attacked by foreign enemies, he immediately moved out of the Star Sect and issued a warning. I am Xiangzishi, a monk of the Xing sect. This is an important place in Yaoang Mountain and is protected by the Xing sect. You should not cause trouble here. At the same time, crowds of people surged on Yaoang Mountain. Many monks quickly gathered. Several formations of light suddenly shone, and the sect protecting formation was fully activated in an instant. Unfortunately, the offender this time was the demon cultivator. Xiangzishi's warning not only failed to have any deterrent effect, but instead made Shuang and others even more excited. A small medicine king mountain is trying to stop me. Even if the Xing sect moves here, I will still dare to come in. Shun was very arrogant. He licked his lips greedily and held out a fist-sized bright yellow bead containing mysterious formations. Then he raised his hand and hit Yaoang Mountain. Yaoang Mountain has been inherited for hundreds of years. Even though there is still the protection of the 5th level sect protecting formation, Shuang brought the 5th level formation breaking beads this time and broke through the sect protecting formation in less than half a stick of incense, killing entered Yaoang Mountain. Facing the nascent soul demon king, the monks stationed in Yaoang Mountain were no match at all, and were defeated instantly. The disciples could only release spells and magic weapons as much as possible to kill and resist some low-level monsters, so as not to be slaughtered. At the same time, the news of the sect being attacked by monsters was spread widely. After Yaoang Mountain was breached, the news was quickly spread to all 4 war zones. Similar situations have also occurred in the past several Star Sea monster tides, and some sects were attacked by the beast tide. One of them was when Lingbao Mountain was attacked by demon cultivators. Finally, the supreme elder of Lingbao Mountain invited him to use the demon-subduing fairy sword to successfully annihilate the beast tide and defend the sect. Now, more than 300 years later, this scene was staged in Yaoang Mountain. The leader was a nascent soul demon emperor, which caused 1,000 waves. Jizun was on Hanli Island and wanted to rush back to Yaoang Mountain for support, but Mrs. Liangxin held her back. Zun, please be patient and don't get carried away by impulse. Judging from the transmission, the nascent soul demon king is the master of Kuish Cave. His strength has reached the middle stage of nascent soul. Even the ancestors of the early nascent soul are no match for him. How can giant monks like you and me use their arms as chariots to fight against the nascent soul demon king? What's the difference between this and committing suicide? For today's plan, we still have to look at the decision of several nascent soul cultivators from Qing sect. We cannot act recklessly and put Hanli Island in danger. There are still more than 600 fellow disciples on this island. Madame Liangxin looked worried, but she remained rational, knowing that she could not run back to die and confront the nascent soul demon king at this time. Shi Wang's move was obviously planned for a long time, and it was not comparable to those simple-minded monsters who just charge and kill. Jizun is not a fool, so she naturally understands this truth. She knows that Hanli Island still needs to be guarded at this moment, but she is still restless and worried about the safety of her sect. Uncle, but the sect is now. Mrs. Liangxin sighed and said, if we want to save the sect, now we can only have the closer Qing sect master or Qingzun to come forward to support us, but we should first guard the 1/3 of an acre of land here. Having said this, she breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, I just received a summons from the leader. What the leader means is to tell us to protect ourselves first. In anticipation of today's scene, we are told not to act out of emotion, and all actions should be in accordance with the wishes of Xingzong. As the leaders of Hanli Island, the more we are at this time, the more we need to be calm and not act blindly. In the face of absolute power, Mrs. Liangxin felt helpless and realized that her strength was still too weak. I just hope that the fellow sect members on the other side of the sect can resist it for a while. It is best to avoid its sharp edges and save their lives. Although it is impossible for everyone to escape, as long as they can wait for the rescue of the Star Sect leader and several nascent soul monks, it would be great if they can rescue some of their fellow disciples. Fortunately, the head of Yaoang Mountain had already prepared for a rainy day, paved the way back, picked some precious elixirs early, or transplanted them elsewhere. The core inheritance of the sect, the martial arts books, and a large number of spiritual stone resources. These resources were reproduced and relocated, and were temporarily stored secretly in various places in the inner Star Sea to prevent the sect from being overrun. Moreover, Yaoang Mountain sent nearly 10,000 cultivators to participate in the war this time, making the worst plan. Even if the sect was destroyed, at least the inheritance was still there, and Yaoang Mountain could be rebuilt. It was a pity for the fellow disciples stationed in the sect, those foundations, spiritual veins, and some spiritual medicines that had been established for hundreds of years. At the first moment when Yaoang Mountain fell, the head of Yaoang Mountain made a prompt decision and took some core high-level people to evade, staggering the attack routes of monsters such as Shuang, and did not forget to order all disciples to escape and not to have too much contact with these monsters. There were 2 giant cultivators stationed in Yaoang Mountain, including the head of Yaoang Mountain, and the other was Mu Dao Ren. There were 11 purple mansion cultivators and more than 600 foundation building cultivators in the rest. Following the head of the sect out of Yaoang Mountain and hiding their tracks in the surrounding sea, a purple mansion deacon was somewhat reluctant and wanted to go back, and couldn't help muttering there. This sect is where we grew up, how can we just abandon it and run away? If this gets out, we, the monks of Yaoang Mountain, will be laughed at. Where is the face of our sect? The head of Yaoang Mountain had expected that someone would have this idea. When he heard this, he immediately glared at the purple mansion monk. If you don't run away, if you want to go back, What can you use to fight that Yuanying Demon King? Just rely on your mouth? If you think face is more important than life, this master will definitely not stop you. Chapter 896 Support. The head of Yaoang Mountain has white beard and hair, and his Taoist robe is also white and clean, spotless, with a fairy-like demeanor. When he scolded, he still made people feel gentle, without showing any sharpness, but more like blowing his beard and glaring. After being scolded twice, the Purple Mansion cultivator sighed, did not respond, and looked dejected. Hey, Mu Daoren tried to smooth things over, looked at the man and said, I said, Qingguang, as the saying goes, if you keep the Green Mountains, you will not be afraid of running out of firewood. The power of the Yuanying Demon King is far beyond our imagination. Even the Xingzong Jinden cultivator can only avoid it when he sees it, and will not be an enemy of it. Don't just practice without thinking. The other cultivators were very rational and knew that there was no face left at this time. Instead of fighting to the death here, it is better to tolerate it temporarily. If we really fight against the Yuanying Demon King, how can we win? Well, it's never too late for a gentleman to take revenge. What's wrong with enduring at this time? Life is the most important thing. I think you should not delay. Although Xingzong has sent reinforcements to support us, we can't blindly fight with these damned demon cultivators, lest we lose both the lady and the army. The most important thing right now is to retain as much strength as possible. Beware of these demon beasts raiding the surrounding spiritual islands, and wait and see. Among you, there are many descendants living on the Ningxing, Samu, Qingguang and other major spiritual islands. When the head of the sect heard this, not only the previously muttered Wang Deacon, but even Mu Daoren secretly shuddered, realizing that this is definitely a problem that cannot be ignored. No, my descendants are all on Ningxing Island. Me, too. As monks of Yaoang Mountain, we should protect the surrounding spiritual islands first. We must not let the millions of mortals on the islands become food for monsters. It's good that you realize this. Let's go. The head of Yaoang Mountain waved his hand and summoned a green flying boat. He took Mu Daoren and his party on board and turned into a stream of light and rushed straight into the sky. This boat is called Xuanshan Qinai boat. It looks like a green leaf. It has reached the 4th level and is known for its extreme speed. The Xuanshan Qinai boat can travel 100,000 miles a day at full speed, with a maximum load of 21 tons. While the head of Yaoang Mountain and his party were running away, the 4 Yuanying of Xingzong sect master and Xingzun also received the news. The 4 were furious and couldn't help cursing the Aozu temple for being despicable. They couldn't get away to provide support in a short time. At this time, the nascent soul demon kings of the Black Dragon Palace and the Divine Water Palace were ready to move. They took this opportunity to appear on the front line to contain the enemy, waiting for an opportunity to take advantage of the situation. Once the 4 nascent souls of Xingzun left the front line to support Yaoang Mountain, I am afraid that the next step would be to let the major spiritual islands and strategic locations on the front line suffer devastating damage from the nascent soul demon king. This was obviously a long-planned action by the other party. War is cruel, and it is impossible to be comprehensive. The 4 Xingzun quickly communicated and discussed, and came to a conclusion in a few words. In order to defend the front line and prevent Lingbao Mountain, Wuyan Island and other sects from following in their footsteps and being killed by monsters. Xingzun, Xingzong Taishang Elder and Hongling Patriarch had no choice but to continue to guard the front line and act according to circumstances. Since the Xingzong sect master was closest to Yaoang Mountain, he was secretly responsible for going to Yaoang Mountain to support it at the suggestion of Xingzun. The 4 of them would not tell anyone about this action, lest there be an insider in their team, exposing the news and attracting the Demon King to take advantage of the opportunity to attack. On the surface, they quickly drew personnel from the frontline islands closest to Yaoang Mountain around Liaoyan Islands, and sent 5,000 cultivators and 3 Jinden cultivators to Yaoang Mountain, saving as many as possible. More importantly, They had to be wary of the beast tide continuing to cause chaos around Yaoang Mountain and slaughtering the mortals on those islands. Lu Shengyan received the order from Xingzun and began to dispatch troops on Hanli Island and discuss with Jizun and Madame Lianxin. According to the order of our sect's founder, we will send 3 giant cultivators and 5,000 cultivators to Yaoang Mountain for support. This time, we must act quickly and wipe out the monsters as much as possible, so as not to raise tigers and expose millions of mortals on the surrounding islands to the monster's sharp teeth. When talking about the islands around Yaoang Mountain, Jizun and Madame Lianxin's faces changed at the same time, realizing that this beast-tide attack must be more than just an invasion of Yaoang Mountain. Once this group of beasts landed on the mortal islands and launched a large-scale massacre, the consequences would be disastrous. Mortals have always been one of the most precious resources in the world of immortal cultivation. Immortal seedlings come from mortals. Noticing the expressions of Jizun and the others, Lu Shengyan continued to say seriously, according to the number of cultivators currently resting on Hanli Island, it is not too difficult to dispatch these forces. In addition, Yanwu Island is the strategic island closest to Yaoang Mountain. There is currently a Chen family giant on the island, and the elders of Yaoang Mountain are stationed there. I thought about it and summoned the 2 giant Taoists to participate and take a team to act together. For the 3rd giant, summon another one from Zhuxiantu Island and bring some support. The 3 of us will stay on Yanwu Island and ensure the stability here as much as possible. Yes. Okay. Jizun and Madame Lianxin nodded one after another. Lu Shengyan began to plan the organization's personnel. Let's do this. There are still 6 families on the island, so we will gather people from the Zhang family, Hong family, Liu family, Sun family, Zhu family and Sicha family first. The rest of the cultivators will be dispatched from the 4 major sects and our sect. Do you have any ideas? Jizun and Madame Lianxin had discussed it long ago and knew that sending troops to support this time was actually out of humanity. They did not expect that they could turn the tide, save Yaoang Mountain, and kill the Yuanying Demon King with this little force. Jizun knew that this was the only way for now, and nodded and said, "Time cannot be delayed. We should make a decision immediately. Let's hurry up." That's right. Madame Lianxin also spoke. Lu Shengyan acted quickly and immediately formulated and issued combat tasks. The Zhang family received the news first. Zhang Wenhui and Zhang Rin, who were in retreat, came out immediately and gathered with the family cultivators. Other families such as the Hong family, the Liu family, and the Sun family gathered one after another and did not refuse this task. If you don't help at this time, don't expect others to lend a hand when you are in trouble in the future. Under the urgent call, a team of nearly 4,000 people quickly assembled and prepared. Lu Shengyan on Hanli Island didn't know that the leader of Xingzong would secretly go to Yaoang Mountain, so he could only obey Xingzun's orders. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 897 Nangxing Island. The Yanwu Island where Chen Qingyun was located at the southernmost tip of the Liaoyan Islands and on the first front line, and was also within the scope of the call. Soon, Chen Qingyun and Fairy Dinxium received a temporary mission to go to Yaoang Mountain for support. The 2 ancestors Zhu and Liang continued to garrison Yanwu Island to prevent the beast tide from attacking at this time. Xingzong's response was also quick, and they did not sit idly by. I just don't know if there will be any Yuanying cultivators involved. This mission came at the right time. It just so happened that I wanted to go to Yaoang Mountain for support. Chen Qingyun did not delay and dispatched the cultivators on Yanwu Island with Fairy Dinxium to quickly gather and sent out 500 people to start. At the same time, on Zhuxiantu Island, Xingzong's young patriarch took on the task and led more than 600 cultivators to quickly set off to gather at Yaoang Mountain. This time, The fact that the Yuanying Demon King could suddenly appear in Yaoang Mountain and avoid a number of defense lines and eyes shows that the opponent's strength should not be underestimated. The previous agreement to fight and move in a fixed area was not taken into consideration at all. What's more, this was when a group of more than 3,000 monsters were assembled. If such a method of hiding the truth from the world is repeated several times, the beast tide will probably enter the inner star sea. At that time, there will be no fixed battle area for fighting, and the beast tide will be scattered everywhere, which will be tricky. The battle situation was urgent, and everyone gathered at the nearest Tanning Island and chose to take the teleportation array to Longkui Island near Yaoang Mountain. The island is the territory island of Yaoang Mountain, less than 1,000 miles away from Yaoang Mountain. It belongs to a teleportation array island newly built by Xingzong in Yaoang Mountain in the past 20 years. After Chen Qingyun and his party were teleported to Longkui Island, they went directly to Yaoang Mountain. The entire assembly time, plus the time consumed on the journey with the help of Xingzong's Dunshan flying boat, added up to less than an hour. But the power of the Yuanying Demon King is powerful and the destructive power is amazing. At this time, Shuang had led a group of men to destroy the spiritual veins of Yaoang Mountain, plundered the spiritual medicine garden, and wreaked havoc in the sect. Thousands of demon beasts were rampaging in Yaoang Mountain, and they would pounce on and kill any cultivators they saw, not even sparing mortals. Yaoang Mountain fell, and the leader of Xingzong had already set out, preparing to secretly teach Shuang a lesson, and it would be best if he could kill this demon in one fell swoop to avenge Dan Quinzenren and others. This time, we must try our best not to let the other party escape like the red-spotted demon shark before. Now that several spiritual islands have been destroyed, people are in panic, and it is the time to kill a Yuanying Demon King to boost morale. Just when Chen Qingyun and his party left Longkui Island, new news came and fell into the ears of Chen Qingyun, Zhu Laozu and others. When the leader of Xingzong crossed the second front and passed through Jihai Island, he was ambushed by a Yuanying Demon King and was delayed. This nascent soul Demon King is Liao, the master of the Thunder Eel Cave. His cultivation is also in the middle stage of the nascent soul. He can release natural magical powers such as thunder and lightning, and he is very comfortable fighting in the water. A fierce battle broke out between the two sides in the sea area of Jihai Island, causing the wind and clouds of the world to stir, and thunder and lightning rolled in the sea. The mighty battle could be seen from a distance of dozens of miles. The two-edged mountain-splitting axe used by the leader of the Xingzong sect disintegrated Liao's lightning attack in one fell swoop, splitting the vast sea area, and erupting with a terrifying effect of splitting water and breaking waves. However, this battle lasted for dozens of rounds, and in the end only Liao was injured, causing the opponent to escape by chance. Once the natural magical power of the Thunder Demon Eel, the Lightning Flash Divine Escape Magic Light, is used, it is difficult for even a late nascent soul cultivator to catch up. The reason why the three-headed dragon sent out the three generals, the Red Shark, the Kua Snake, and the Master of the Thunder Eel Cave, was not random. They were attracted by their superior ability to escape, and they could turn around and run away if they couldn't win, which would discuss the nascent soul cultivators in Xinghai. In addition, the three-headed dragon also lent Shuang a 54th order deep-sea hidden dragon boat, which could accommodate up to 6,000 monsters to travel quickly in the deep sea, avoiding the spiritual sense and visual detection of cultivators below the nascent soul stage. This is why Shuang can lead the beast tide to sneak and quickly launch a surprise attack. What, a slippery loach! If you are caught by me, I will definitely pull out your tendons and skin you. The leader of Xingzong recovered a little, and didn't expect how Liao knew his whereabouts. It seems that the spies of the demon cultivators everywhere are really not just talk. This secret operation was only known by the three nascent soul cultivators of Xingzong. They knew everything about it and it was impossible for them to disclose the information to the outside world. Realizing that Shuang might have a big move, otherwise why would Liao appear here? The leader of Xingzong did not dare to delay any longer and continued on his way. Almost at the same time, when Chen Qingyun and others arrived at Yaoang Mountain, they found that there was no trace of monsters here, only a mess. Oh no, These monsters are not here, I'm afraid they will make trouble again. Not seeing any trace of monsters, Fairy Dingxiang's expression changed, and she was worried about going to the islands around Yaoang Mountain. Fellow Taoist Chen, let's go to the nearby Immortal Islands first. As expected, soon, news came from the surrounding areas of Yaoang Mountain. This news was more shocking than Liao's interception of the leader of the Xingzong, and many cultivators in the Eastern Theater were shocked. Located around Yaoang Mountain, about 100 miles away, an island called Nangxing Island was suddenly attacked by monsters. These monsters are more numerous, close to 6,000, as if they appeared out of thin air, hiding from the eyes and ears of the surrounding cultivators. The leader was Xuang. There is a city called Nangxing City on Nangxing Island, with a permanent population of more than 3 million. Many clansmen of Yaoang Mountain monks live on this island. On Nangxing Island, there is usually a giant and monk stationed there and a 4th-level formation guarding it. However, these forces are simply vulnerable in front of the Yuanying Demon King. After Xuang destroyed Yaoang Mountain, he immediately used the deep-sea hidden dragon boat again, bringing several giant and demon kings and many monsters to attack Nangxing Island. It took only a dozen breaths to destroy the protective formation of Nangxing City and start a massacre on the island. This caused hundreds of thousands of mortals to become food for monsters, and more mortals fled Nangxing Island on spirit ships under the cover of monks. However, the number of spirit ships prepared on Nangxing Island is limited, and the mortals that can be taken away are just a drop in the bucket, and they also have to guard against the attacks of monsters at sea. As long as the beast tide is not eliminated, it will always be a huge hidden danger, which makes the cultivators on the other spiritual islands around panic and start to disperse the mortals on the island. After learning that Nangxing Island was slaughtered by monsters, Chen Qingyun, Fairy Dingxiang and others left Yaoang Mountain and immediately changed their route to Nangxing Island for support. Even the high-level officials of Yaoang Mountain who were originally on the run, knowing that Nangxing Island was poisoned by monsters, one by one, regardless of life and death, immediately changed their route to support. Nangxing Island is in dire straits at this time. Looking around, it is devastated and bloody. It is enough to be described as purgatory on earth. A large number of monsters are active on land, forming a dense mass, and it is horrible to see where they pass. After Chen Qingyun and his party arrived, they saw this purgatory-like scene, frowned one by one, and many people showed anger on their faces. Chapter 898 Heavenly Sword Demon Slaying Formation. More than 6,000 monsters may seem like a small number, but those unarmed mortals are no match for them and can only become prey. Not to mention, Xuang is also involved. His strength is strong enough to destroy a city with a population of 1 million alone. Monsters attacking the city is a disaster for any city. Chen Qingyun and others gathered together and looked down at Nangxing City from the air. Seeing the mess in the city, some young monks with blood and vigor had their eyes spitting fire and clenched their teeth. These monsters are so cruel. They are not satisfied with the sneak attack on Yaoang Mountain. They are killing mortals here. They deserve to be punished by heaven and earth. The exact location of the Kuish Cave Demon King is unknown. It seems that he is hiding. We should be careful in everything we do. When will the nascent soul cultivators on our side come? Such an arrogant Demon King, I wish I could cut him into pieces. It's hateful. It's my fault that I am not strong enough. Similar, angry voices sounded, and more were worries and concerns. Fairy Lilac and Patriarch Qiong looked depressed, knowing that there was no hope of turning the tide by coming to support this time. Xuang was so strong that he could only retreat, so he set his sights on Chen Qingyun, wanting to hear what Chen Qingyun meant. On the surface, Chen Qingyun was the strongest, and whether he had the confidence to resist the nascent soul demon king or not still depended on how Chen Qingyun made his decision. Chen Qingyun's expression showed no joy or anger. After landing on this Nangxing Island, he did not detect Xuang's figure for the time being. The other party was most likely still on this island, but was hiding in some way, probably trying to ambush the nascent soul cultivators. Thinking of this, Chen Qingyun did not intend to discuss more, and glanced at everyone. You should be careful when you take action. and protect the mortals on the island first. These monsters will naturally find a way to clean them up. Everyone did not understand the meaning of Chen Qingyun's next sentence. Did he mean that the leader of the Xingzan or the several nascent soul cultivators of Xingzan were about to arrive here? Why haven't I heard this news before? Could it be that the reason why the leader of the Xing sect appeared on the Jihai Island was to provide secret support and catch the demon king of the Kua Snake Cave off guard? Just as he was wondering, Chen Qingyun's voice sounded again. Let's do it. As soon as Chen Qingyun finished speaking, someone couldn't hold back and cast the fireball spell and ice spike spell at the beasts below. This wave of attacks attracted the attention of some monsters, who roared to avoid or resist. Suddenly, there were bursts of roars, and more than a dozen monsters were killed. Seeing that there were cultivators coming to support, the dozen cultivators who stayed in Anxing City immediately approached Chen Qingyun and others as if they had grabbed a life-saving straw, wanting to concentrate their strength to fight against the monsters. Start the formation. Let's do it. The head of Yaoang Mountain, Mu Daoran and others did not delay at this moment and cooperated. The monks of Yaoang Mountain worked together, using 10 formation flags to perform a set of fire-attributed formations to fight the enemy. Some Xingzang monks, under the order of Patriarch Yang, quickly guided the mortals to evacuate urgently. Fairy Lilac sacrificed a gemmed magic weapon, and the gem glowed brightly. It flew forward while spinning, casting a large area of blue light, sheltering some mortal children. These blue lights contained wood-attributed power, which was enough to resist the impact of the golden elixir monster beasts, and successfully resisted the attack of more than a dozen monster beasts. Other monks showed their skills and tried their best to delay the beast tide and assist the mortals here to evacuate. Heavenly Sword Demon Slaying Formation, rise. With a loud shout, there was a flash of sword light and formation light. A Heavenly Sword Demon Slaying Formation was set up on the spot, with 3 Yaoang Mountain Purple Mansion monks and 10 Foundation Building monks working together. A flame formation and a sword formation were in operation at the same time, which shocked the morale of the crowd. Kill. The formation was activated, and thousands of heavenly swords condensed from the formation, turning into rays of light and falling on the beasts, killing more than 100 monsters in a short period of time. For this support operation, everyone did not rush here with all their strength. Naturally, they formulated some methods to deal with the enemy, hoping to use the formation to dissolve some threats. Under the call of several giant and demon kings, a large number of monsters began to disperse and launched a more fierce attack on the monks who came to kill. Fairy Lilac stood in the air, and with a flip of her jade hand, while protecting the mortals, she immediately sacrificed a light purple treasure mirror. As she injected mana into it, the light on the mirror surged, and 9 light purple mirror lights were shot out, falling on several purple mansion monsters. This is the purple light mirror, the magic weapon of Fairy Lilac, which has reached the 4th level extreme level and can launch a group attack effect. As soon as the mirror light touched them, the 6 monsters were immediately fixed, and a layer of crystal-like objects condensed around their bodies, turning into amber and being killed instantly. This lilac fairy seemed weak, with the image of a beautiful girl, but with just one move, she killed 1 purple mansion monster and 5 purple mansion monsters, with a good record. Another giant and cultivator, Xingzan's young patriarch, controlled a gourd magic weapon, and saw a large piece of flame gushing out of the gourd mouth, turning into 3 firebirds and flying towards more than a dozen monsters. Wherever the firebirds went, the monsters below the giant and level were instantly burned, roaring, screaming and turning into ashes. A giant and demon king was pounced on by the firebird. His whole body was on fire, and rushed into the sea, but was still burned to pieces and died soon. The blazing fire in this treasure gourd will not go out even if it meets water. It can burn in water until the energy is exhausted. It is very domineering. Looking at this side, Chen Qingyun sacrificed the fairy palace and summoned a group of puppets from it, together with the clones. A total of 50 launched an attack. The rest of the Yuanying clones temporarily retained their strength to avoid exposing too many cards here. Since they want to kill the Yuanying Demon King, they must at least attract the opponent out. I don't believe that if all the monsters here are killed, Xuang can still sit back and watch, and continue to choose to hide and ambush. Under the attack of a group of puppets and clones, none of the monsters around our opponents. The bow and arrow clone shot out more than a dozen metal flying arrows, each of which was extremely powerful, rumbling and shooting dozens of monsters, and continued to kill the monsters behind. The powerful strength displayed by the bow and arrow clone made some cultivators look sideways, but they did not recognize who it was, and thought it was a local cultivator living in Nangxing Island. A group of puppets and clones launched an attack. In fact, Chen Qingyun alone was enough to wipe out this beast. Looking at Chen Qingyun, he raised his hand and sacrificed the star ring moon blade. Each ring and blade showed their power, and killed more than 40 monsters around him, saving some mortals and cultivators nearby. At the same time, Chen Qingyun continued to expand his spiritual consciousness and explore the surroundings. Here, he found the figures of Zhang Wenhui, Zhang Rin, and Liu Zilin's tribe. Chapter 899 Black Dragon Palace. Zhang Wenhui has made remarkable progress in recent years. Judging from the aura of cultivation, she has reached the late stage of foundation building. If she is provided with more good resources and cultivated for more than 10 years, she will definitely be the Purple Mansion Taoist seed of the Zhang family, and there is hope for the Purple Mansion in the future. She was fighting with a foundation building monster beast, releasing a silver rope magic weapon to bind the foundation building monster beast, and then controlling the flying sword to behead it. After successfully killing the monster beast, Zhang Wenhui turned her eyes and quickly looked around. She happened to see Chen Qingyun, and her expression could not help but be happy. Swish. At this time, a foundation building monster bird took advantage of Zhang Wenhui's distraction and launched a sneak attack from the air. The next second, it was split in half by a sword light. Don't be distracted. Zhang Rin reacted quickly and blocked the sneak attack monster for Zhang Wenhui in time. This caused Zhang Wenhui to quickly come back to his senses, secretly sweating, and then seriously urged a defensive talisman to protect himself. Chen Qingyun saw the action of Zhang Rin's grandfather and grandson, but he didn't pay too much attention to it. His attention was quickly diverted to other places. Judging from the current situation of the battle in Nangxing City, Xuang has not appeared yet. The battle on his side is completely in the upper hand and presents an overwhelming trend. The only variable is the monster Xuang. Strange, why didn't this monster king show up here after attacking Nangxing Island? Chen Qingyun was secretly alert, guessing that Xuang must still be on Nangxing Island. It is impossible for Xingzong not to send Yuanying cultivators to support. Sure enough, the battle lasted for dozens of breaths, and the fourth level flame formation that was still killing people was suddenly attacked by an external force. A black light rushed out from the ground, revealing the power of the Yuanying stage. Xuang finally couldn't bear it anymore, revoked the hidden effect of the spiritual treasure, and chose to attack. Just between the gestures, a strong mana was released, and the flame-level formation was shattered and disintegrated with one blow. The formation broke apart, and flames spread everywhere, just like the eruption of volcanic magma, which fell on the cultivators, mortals and monsters at the same time. The three cultivators who set up the formation were attacked by the residual power of Xuang, and were killed on the spot, exploding into a ball of blood mist. Retreat quickly, the Demon King has taken action. Seeing that Xuang finally appeared, Deacon Wang's expression changed, and he quickly cast a ripple shield to resist the overflowing formation flames for the pair of women and children around him, and reminded his fellow disciples. The head of Yaoang Mountain, Mu Dao Ren and other Yaoang Mountain cultivators all changed their expressions. At this moment, they did not dare to approach Xuang, and could only avoid him as much as possible to cover the mortals and cultivators around them. For now, it is better to eliminate more low-level monsters and wait for the nascent soul cultivators of Xingzong to come to the rescue. Almost at the same time, in the southern war zone thousands of miles away from Nangxing Island, Xingzong launched support and was rushing to Nangxing Island at full speed. After learning that Yaoang Mountain was destroyed, Nangxing Island was also attacked by a beast tide. This angered Xingzong, who realized that if he did not take action at this time, more islands would fall in the future. In order to deter Qingguang and other monsters, Qingguang spread the news when he took action, saying that he was on the way and said that he would personally support the Eastern Theater. Penglai Fairyland learned of this news and took the initiative to send a Yuanying cultivator to replace Qingguang and garrison in the Southern Theater. Since the previous Xingzong sect master went there secretly and was also captured by the Demon Ancestor Hall and intercepted halfway, this must not be a coincidence. So this time there is no need to do anything secretly. Just openly express that he will strongly support Nangxing Island. If Qingguang and others are afraid, they will flee immediately, reducing some losses on Nangxing Island. However, Qingguang and other monster cultivators guessed this and also detected Qingguang's movements through the monster cultivator's eyes that are almost all over the sea. They wanted to intercept and delay the rescue time of Qingguang, and were discussing whether to join forces. In the end, Qingguang thought that he should lurk in Nangxing Island first and launch a sneak attack after Qingguang appeared. However, this plan was broken just now. Qingguang received news that a Yuanying demon beast from the Black Dragon Palace had taken action first. This demon king was named Zat, a mutated deep-sea demon whale, whose cultivation had reached the late Yuanying stage and was best at launching sneak attacks in the sea. Zat lurked in the sea, using the Lingbao star observation mirror to monitor the dynamics of a radius of 100,000 miles, and soon locked onto the figure of Qingguang. He tried to intercept Qingguang and deal with him. But Qingguang did not give him a chance to fight, and directly launched a body escape technique, leaving Zat behind and avoiding the battle. What kind of escape technique is this? If you have the ability, stay and fight with me for 300 rounds. Zat roared and tried to chase. As a result, Qingguang ignored him and soon made Zat unable to see him. He had to grit his teeth and dive into the sea, giving up the interception. He took out the communication talisman and contacted another Yuanying demon king in the Black Dragon Palace. The situation has changed. Qingguang really wants to support Nangxing Island. Wuda, it's your turn. This time, we will join forces to kill this man. After the communication, Zat chased in the direction of Nangxing Island. On Nangxing Island, the battle has come to an end. There are less than 1,000 demon beasts concentrated in Nangxing City to wreak havoc and kill the remaining mortals here. Ancestor Yuan, Fairy Dinxian and others organize the mortals to escape while clearing the surrounding demon beasts. Various magic weapons and magic attacks continued. Chen Qingyun killed a giant and demon king and more than a dozen demon beasts. His eyes locked on Qingguang and quickly approached the other party, ready to surprise him. Qingguang was able to come and go freely here, easily killing the surrounding cultivators, causing many cultivators to stay away and not dare to approach. A group of high-level officials of Yaoang Mountain, such as the head of Yaoang Mountain, Mu Dao Ren, were regarded as the key targets of killing by Qingguang, and were soon attacked. The head of Yaoang Mountain was at the peak of the Golden Core realm. With the help of a 5th-level talisman left by his ancestors, he stimulated the power within and used many sacred wood vines, which turned into sharp thorns and pierced Qingguang directly. After all, he was a Yuanying demon king. Qingguang relied on his own body shield light to first resist the attack of the wood vines, and then sacrificed a red blade. This red blade was in the shape of a crescent moon. It turned in the air and easily cut off the wood vines. The wood vines in the talisman continued to surge out, turning into flexible tentacles, piercing through several purple mansion monsters and a golden core demon king who were blocking the road, killing them on the spot, and then continued to encircle and suppress Qingguang. This kind of giant and cultivator, relying on the 5th-level talisman to deal with Yuanying stage opponents, can only fight back and forth in a very short time, and after all, he cannot fight for too long. In just 3 rounds, the power in the talisman was exhausted, but it still did not break Qingguang's defense. This instead led Qingguang to attack with a red blade, killing several cultivators, breaking through those defensive mana and magic resistance in one move. Little giant and cultivator, you want to do anything to me? It's really a fool's dream. Qingguang sneered, and manipulated the red blade very casually, smashing the attack of this 5th-level talisman in one fell swoop, and turned to slash at the head of Yaoang Mountain. Chapter 900 The Tripod of All Things appears to suppress Qingguang. Not good. Faced with the attack of this spiritual treasure, the head of Yaoang Mountain was shocked. He knew that he could not resist and could only dodge as much as possible. At the critical moment, he decisively activated a magic lightning talisman to bless himself. Then, the whole person turned into a flash of lightning, and in the blink of an eye, he teleported more than 10 feet away, avoiding the attack without any danger. The red blade missed the attack, which caused Shuang to exclaim in surprise, but soon he showed a playful look, and this time he directly controlled the red blade to increase the power of the attack. The red blade suddenly became larger, turning into a size of 50 or 60 feet, exuding a frightening power. The spiritual treasure slashed across the sky at Mu Dao Ren, the head of Yaoang Mountain, and other cultivators in a diagonal posture, launching a large-scale attack. The power of the Yuanying stage contained in the power of this attack made Mu Dao Ren and others look horrified. Even the cultivators and monsters who were slightly closer to the red blade were directly torn into pieces by the sharp power of this spiritual treasure. The spiritual treasure has not arrived yet, but its power is so strong, if a giant and cultivator is hit by such a blow, the consequences can only be a blessing in disguise. Just as Mu Dao Ren and his companions were evading in fear, realizing that they might be killed here this time, they were panicking. At this time, a treasure light suddenly lit up, just like the first ray of light at the beginning of the world, and hit the red blade directly. The red blade was hit by this treasure light and suddenly froze in the air, wrapped in the treasure light. Shuang narrowed his eyes when he saw this situation, although he felt strange and didn't know what was going on. But he still tried to continue to control the red blade, to kill these cultivators and make an example of them, and to suppress them properly. It was easy for him to kill the giant and cultivator. However, the next moment, the expression on Shuang's face changed, and he found that he couldn't control the red blade at all. Looking closely again, after the red blade was hit by the precious light, a large cauldron floated in the air and appeared in front of everyone. It was at this moment that the red blade temporarily lost control, quickly turned into its original size, and fell into the large cauldron accurately. No, it was better to say that it was sucked in than to say it fell in. Who is it? Shuang tried to communicate with the red blade again, but found that it was useless. He couldn't help but get angry and looked around. Those who can do this must have the strength of the nascent soul stage. How could there be a nascent soul cultivator among this group of supporting cultivators? I didn't find it when I was lurking before. Almost at the same time, Zhang Wenhui, Mu Daoren, Dingxiang Fairy and others were attracted by the attack of the red blade just now. Now seeing a large cauldron appear and take away Shuang's red blade, they were all surprised and their eyes fell on the large cauldron. The tripod is a tripod with 3 legs and 3 ears. The body of the tripod is engraved with sacred beast patterns, full of heavy metal texture. On one side of the big tripod, a man in a green robe is standing in the air. He looks to be in his 20s or 30s, and the whole person has become the focus of the world. Who else could it be if not Chen Qingyun? At the critical moment, Chen Qingyun found the right opportunity and directly sacrificed the tripod of all things and took away Shuang's red blade spiritual treasure. This scene caused Fairy Dingxiang and Mu Daoren to open their mouths and feel incredible. This is just the beginning, and more incredible things are still to come. Since he has already made a move, Chen Qingyun naturally has no intention of continuing to hide. Shuang is already angry, and he didn't expect Chen Qingyun to have such a trick. So he couldn't help but scold Chen Qingyun. What a big courage! Who are you? As soon as the voice fell, Shuang ordered more than a dozen monsters around to attack and pounced on Chen Qingyun together. Chen Qingyun ignored Shuang's question and just casually waved his hand, sending out a stream of Yuanying magic power, hitting several flying monster birds and turning them into blood mist. Among them, there was a monster bird in the middle stage of Jianden, which had no power to fight back in front of Chen Qingyun and was killed in one encounter. Seeing Chen Qingyun's actions, he didn't take his words seriously at all, so Shuang stopped talking nonsense. He tried to communicate with Hongren but couldn't, so he opened his mouth and spit out 7 white sword lights that shot out of his mouth and slashed at Chen Qingyun. This is the innate magical power of the monster Kuo snake, named Jiushen Zhuani Qingguang, and like the Jiushen Yufeng, It has a very strong tearing force and can easily wipe out a cultivator in the middle stage of Yuanying. The 7 white sword lights hit Chen Qingyun in the blink of an eye. Chen Qingyun had been prepared for it. The Qingguang armor on his body took effect and automatically released a layer of green shield to resist the 7 sword lights. Seeing that even his innate magical power could not do anything to Chen Qingyun, Shuang's expression changed. Realizing that he could not underestimate his opponent in this battle. He simply transformed himself into his original form, a huge Kua snake lying between heaven and earth, more than 100 feet long. The shadow cast by the huge snake body enveloped some cultivators, mortals, and even monsters, and they only felt a suffocating sense of oppression. Kua snake, a 5th level upper grade monster, got its name because of its sturdy and upright snake head. Compared with other snake monsters, Kua snake's head is larger, covered with thick scales, and there are double pupils and a pair of snake pupils, which looks extremely strange. After transforming into his original form, Shuang suddenly swung his snake tail and slapped Chen Qingyun fiercely. The strong wind that was raised blew away all the monsters and cultivators around. Chen Qingyun simply unfolded the 5 elements sky escape and avoided the attack of the snake's tail in an instant. The snake's tail slapped the ground with a loud bang, causing the ground to shake and the ground to crack into a 1,000-foot-long crack, rumbling. Faced with this level of fighting, Fairy Dinxian, Ancestor Yang and others did not dare to approach at all, and could only retreat and keep a long distance. Shuang missed the attack, but with his flexible body, he opened his bloody mouth and swallowed Chen Qingyun with a pounce. A fishy smell came to his face, mixed with a hot and irritating breath, which was bred by the unique toxin of the Kua snake. This toxin is called Kuidu. Once a Yuanying cultivator comes into contact with it, he will be skinned if he does not die. This time, Chen Qingyun did not dodge again, and continued to show his power with the Qingguang armor to block the attack of Kuidu. Then, he controlled the Tianyan double swords to break through the air and turned into 2 dazzling sword lights, which stabbed into Shuang's huge mouth at the same time. Shuang didn't dare to risk his life to gamble on the power of these 2 swords. But if he wanted to dodge, his speed was not as fast as the twin swords of Tianyan, so he couldn't dodge at all. He swung his body and could only release the power of Yuanying to form a shield to protect his head. With a clang, the twin swords of Tianyan hit the Yuanying shield, breaking it with great force, piercing into Shuang's big mouth, and then penetrated it completely, bringing out a stream of blood. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.